Welcome back, everyone, to session 5 of season 2 of Pandemonium. And today we're getting into one of my favorite Kazian traditions. We are getting into Coisir's Day. This is my God of Celebrations day of revelry, where the group will get to go through some various games and get a chance to win Coisirian Nectar, this highly sought after brew by both adventurers and even some gods themselves. But we'll go into that a little bit as we get into the episode. Starting off with a quick recap, the Gavels of Avasara are making their way through pretty well. Coisir's Fight for Peace tournament, making it through the first day's rounds, earning 2,000 gold after their heroic victory, taking down the dragon turtle. Afterwards, the group decided to do a little bit of diplomacy, reaching out to Karuna, as well as Arcs, kind of representing the General Thrax's legions, as well as the Imperialists, to kind of see if there was a way to bring these two together. And while the group had some very eloquent arguments and was able to open a back channel, it didn't seem so far that they've been able to bridge the gap between these two. While they both may share their same desire for one world, one empire, one emperor, there's, we'll say, some leadership disagreements going on that still need to be worked through, but a lot of great progress was made. After that, the group was invited to Coisir's feast. And that's when, like, the group, the stress from the earlier rounds of the tournament, as well as the diplomatic negotiation, feel like caught up to where they were able to just kind of relax. Getting to speak with their old friend Spock, one of the High Arbiter's kind of lead lieutenants, and get to hear a little bit more what's going on with her. But afterwards, they found their one-time friend Velnu, and after some pleasant conversation, they both sides begin kind of sniping at each other until the group challenged Velnu's Adamantium Renegades to a drinking contest as kind of the round one between your fight with them, which will be the next tournament round. The group put in some work, but unfortunately, the Adamantium Renegades just edged them out in the drinking contest, earning a little bit of the crowd's fascination ahead of the match. With that, the group also found afterwards the Adamantium Renegades, even though they may be hired by Velnu, who kind of hates the party's guts a little bit after both the snubs during the celebration, as well as the past dealing that went awry with the airship plans. The Adamantium Renegades are like, we don't have a contract against you, we can be friends. So they got to drink with the giant, with G wrestling with the giant, and got to meet the Adamantium Renegades, learn a little bit more about what's going on in Messia from their leader, finding out that Wisteria's brother is actually joining the Great Clash on the side of the Reavers of Tawa. One of the rare occurrences when they participated in Messian's leadership, trying to see if they can wrest control of Messia for the Reavers. And then also kind of one of the things too, not really that we learned, is that Mockery may have a crush on Wisteria, as well as the drinks flowed. But afterwards, the group was able to didn't get to see too much of what was going on at the feast, where you saw that the three factions were there with Coisir, High Librarian Oline, and Arapo, Coisir's first reveler, kind of going between the three camps of the Loyalist, Imperialist, and General Thrax's legions, trying to bring a conciliatory edge between them. But the group had a real fun night. Was able to kick off Coisir's Day a little early, we'll say. And that's before we pick up there. Mockery, I'm going to pick on you first. Mockery, what does Mockery, does Mockery usually dream? And if he does, what does he usually dream of?
That's a good question. I would say yes, and it would probably be a lot of like mundane tasks of him going through. Basically, I imagine he'd dream a lot of the past, back when he worked for the Shoot, what's it called again? The temples that worship Nakash. I know they're like gambling halls and whatnot. They're casinos, but what's the actual name of them?
Oh, I'm like it's gilded something. The Gilded Dens, I believe. The Gilded Churches. Gilded Churches. Yeah.
Gilded churches. Yeah, back when he used to work for those trying to earn what he could, bringing drinks to people, washing tables, washing the floors, sweeping, that kind of thing. Just menial labor. It's not flashy, but that's what his actual dreams, I imagine, would be mostly made out of.
Would you kind of have a similar dream after last night? After kind of the drinking and revelry?
I imagine, for the most part, yeah.
So, Makri, as you're kind of going through the dream, you see the probably like those dreams are probably fairly mundane typically, but one of the things you notice first of all as you go through, especially in this infernal gilded church, you see like the religious symbol, like kind of Makesh's own like heraldry, his marks, everything seems to glow a little bit brighter, but not like gold with the golden hue that you're used to kind of seeing from Makesh's own. He likes things to be shiny. You see it almost glow with a little bit of a fiery hue behind it. And as you're going through, probably the most menial, what was Mockery's most menial task he had to do there?
Define menial.
Like either it's like just something that's just so repetitive or terrible, or just something he truly hated doing there.
It would probably be passing drinks, having to walk table to table, deal with people like free drink, no, okay, having to do that. He'd sweep floors. He'd read off names. He'd let people in, toss people out, that kind of stuff all day. But having to like go table to table with these delicate, intricate glasses that at any point, if he trips, gets nudged or anything like that, they could break. He hated that.
So as you're kind of going through serving those glasses, kind of trying to keep them upright, you see kind of like this glow that's almost been surrounding, like this almost fiery glow intensify until almost like the scenery around you burns away in hellfire. And you see like striding through the hellfire, his black and red armor gleaming, his face and horns almost with an infernal hue, but almost an angelic hue. As he kind of walks through the fire, you see Hell Knight Commander Vinnick appear, and he goes, "It is often the way of the world that those with true talent are put well below their station. I'm glad the Hell Knights and your companions were able to elevate you from such menial task."
I'd say it takes Mockery a little bit to become himself. So probably his first reaction is like wide-eyed in awe, offer a drink. Before you go, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead and take Mockery a second to speak.
You see a puzzled smile on his face, and he goes, "Come back to yourself, Infernal Hound. This is no mere dream. There's work to be done."
Yes, of course. I thank you for the compliment, and I thank you for the title. I thank you for the greeting.
And he would bow his head, doing what would be the proper etiquette for the time that escapes me for a Hell Knight greeting.
You see, he kind of nods back and he goes, "I've seen your fights. You fight well, especially in this tournament, wherein your Hell Knight played. It shows the Order is strong, and it shows the Order can do things that are not expected of us. That is partly why you were recruited. One question I have before I tell you your task. We've often noticed that you call out particular infernal gods through your battles, but we've never heard you call out for the Order itself, the Hell Knight Order. I'm merely curious."
Would the Hell Knights not already be included in any dedication I give now, as a Hell Knight myself?
From a certain point of view, maybe. But we we serve the Infernal Throne itself. In a certain sense, the Order, not any individual or member of the Order, but the Order itself, we're ahead of those Infernal Lords. We keep them in line. We impose the Hell Throne's will and keep order. Just something to think about.
That would take Mockery aback a little bit. He probably, especially in like the stream state, and probably if it wasn't like partially in the dream, he'd look to that incredibly puzzled and with a furrowed brow a little bit before he mulls it over himself, kind of piecing together the logic of that.
The throne is above the lords. You serve the throne directly. I understand what you mean. I myself, forgive me for my insolence, I've never quite seen it that way. I knew if one would step out of line like Sinzo has, the Hell Knights, you, and Gildrick Peppers, you'd be there to put them back, but never truly dawned upon me. The gravity of that.
Just no admonishment, just something to consider as you find your place within the Hell Knights. But as I said, I have a task for you. It's a task I feel that you and your comrades will be well suited for. Have you heard of the island nation of Kata within the Festian Republic?
That would be the one we were just talking about that got kind of bapped down recently. So he like...
Yes, it's come up as of late.
Well, if you make your way out there, we've heard rumors of a fiend making the island its own, utilizing the war between the Republic and the giant nation to feed off of mortals. This was not sanctioned by the throne or the Hell Knights. We would like you to go find who this fiend is, and if it reports to any of the lords. We think it may be one of Shinzo's. He's usually the one who has his people running amok. But with the war on, and all the chaos and famine and greed and everything that springs from war, it could be any of the Infernal Lords and their underlings.
Why would they pick a spot between the island that Frog calls his home, the home of his people, and between one of his most fierce enemies? A strange one indeed. I will put my weight in on the matter, and we were already considering going there. But the Gavos have recently employed a new method of deciding things, democracy, not unlike the Phacian Republic itself. So my weight on the matter only has as many votes as I do.
You see, he kind of like waves his hand and he goes, it matters not how your group comes to the decision. Know that this fiend has not obeyed the throne's law, and that it will make our mission of order harder. If you are able to make it out there, the Hell Knights will recognize your efforts, and we can even provide a small stipend of gold as well. If you bring the fiend to heel, find who his master was, and send him back to the Hells for judgment.
Thank you for giving me this task.
And Mockery would give a deep bow.
And before I go, are you watching the fights yourself?
Not at the moment. If you make it to the end, I will pay attention. And with that, you see the fire kind of start to burn up. You see him kind of like almost do like the little hair swirl, kind of walk back out and leave through. He definitely has a little bit of a flair for the dramatic, but you see the kind of the fires consume everything. And would Mockery wake up after this, or would he kind of? Because if he wouldn't wake up after this, Venick would put him right back into the drudgery of his regular dream.
Mockery would immediately I think this is something like this has happened before, where Mockery's having a dream about meeting the Hell Knights, and he's instantly up, and also the time they warned him of the demon and instantly up, so he's instantly up, and probably almost has a mirror of that time of there's a demon on Dar's Inferno. There's a demon in the Burning Dragon Monastery kicking down Jeet's door in the middle of the night.
There's a fiend in Kata!
There's a what in where?
Fiend in Kata! Taking people's souls and feeding upon the war there.
Are we heading there right now?
I may have gotten a little ahead of myself.
You've got to stop meeting like this, my dude.
No, because last time, and he gets up, looks around for his shield. Last time you said it was urgent. It was in the monastery itself. You're saying Kata the country, right? Not Kata something here, like a village nearby.
Kata the country.
Kata the country.
Yes, I understand that. My mistake now. Sorry for the door. And a good rest to you. We'll talk about it in the morning as a group.
And they'll slink back out with Hyena just going in, circling for a second, going back out.
You do see Beshnet wakes up with all of this, and he goes, noise, infernal. Well, Jeet, someone did come with a message for you. You were indisposed at the time, but I said I would give it to you before first light. And you do the scroll, and you do see the Flamekeeper's sigil upon it.
Thank you, Beshnet. Good thinking, yes. I would have treated this respectfully, no matter how indisposed I was, but, accidents happen, so good judgment call right there.
You were fast asleep by the time it arrived, unfortunately. But you do open, or after you open the message, you do see kind of sprawled out, and this, it's almost calligraphy style, but you see it has this red ink that seems to glow along with it, and you see it is signed by the first Flamekeeper Grishin himself, and it goes, Agnijit, please join us if you are able to for the morning sunrise prayers. I have something that I wish to discuss.
Well, he says under his breath, fiends and Kata can wait, but this cannot. And then he'll go wash up a little bit, put on some ceremonial clothing, and then go meet up with them.
Definitely. And you see kind of out there, arrayed kind of facing to the east, just probably about 12 altogether flame keepers. None of them wearing their armor, all kind of wearing different kind of shades of either gold, red, yellow, all kind of flame-like hues to them. And one of the traditions is if you're able to kind of face the sun as it rises, is almost one of the prayer type pieces. And you do see the flame keeper kind of sitting in the front of them, no armor on, but still just a tall, imposing man. And he looks over to you, Jeet, and he goes, I saw the fight. I think you're the first flame keeper to wrestle a dragon turtle. Well done, Alkalite.
It was okay. I have been quite proud of it, but I can tell you that for a flamekeeper to be in the middle of so much water while hanging onto a turtle, it was honestly a bit of a blur. I somehow survived, but I held on. My training, stood fast even in the midst of a water tornado, if that's what it was. So if you say that it was well done, then thank you. I could not see it from my perspective.
Well, You're probably the first flamekeeper I know that has burned a turtle in a storm to death. Or to Coisir's having to intervene, we should say. But well done. I want you to know that those efforts have not gone unnoticed by the flamekeepers. I brought you here today, and we talked a little bit when you first arrived to the tournament grounds. There's two things I want to express to you. The first, as Nara's told you, the Emperor has lost his spark, and Nar himself will not be determining who should wear the crown out of his factions. The Flamekeepers as an organization will not be picking a champion. But the individual Flamekeepers, myself included, will be allowed to choose who they wish to back. I hope that no blood is spilt between Flamekeepers, and if blood is spilt, one edict I will impose is that no life is taken between Flamekeepers. But I will be supporting General Thrax. I've heard that Arx spoke out of turn and let you know about a mission that some of our Flamekeepers will be undertaking who wish to remain neutral and somewhat alliance with General Thrax. I do wish, and if you are able to, you will, with your gavels, to make your way to the ruined island nation of Ada and get rid of that undead scourge that is an affront to the goddess Thana, that is an affront to the gods themselves. All men must die, and we must make it so for them.
Yes, it is an affront, and not just to the gods, but to think that from that island far away they would choose a terrier in which to unleash the undead infestation. It is most displeasing, and I wish dearly that I can come and use my fire in a place where I know it can cause only good by burning away the undead. However, much as the Flamekeepers, or in a different way from how the Flamekeepers are choosing their individual paths, as of now, I have bound myself to my group, and we choose our path as one. I do wish to arrive at the island of Ada sooner rather than later, but I expect that it will be a little bit later, possibly not with you. And as for the war, I do also myself have personal favorites. As of right now, I'm not openly declaring anything. Neither are the Gavels obliging me more than themselves. But I will say Thrax is an honorable and capable man. And very driven by the fire inside his heart, too.
He does represent Nara's flames well. That if you are able to make your way to the nation, we would love your assistance in cleansing that Ada by fire. But otherwise, we understand that the Gavels may have other priorities. Join us in prayer before the festivities begin. And you kind of see them like kind of just almost a meditative style prayer as the sun starts to come up. For the rest of you guys, and Jeet, you were able to rejoin the crew as well. Probably a little bit later, probably about 8, 9 in the morning, you hear like this booming voice kind of like echoing through the camp, and you recognize it almost instantly as Coisir's voice, and it goes, "Laddies, wake up, everyone! Up, up! It is Coisir's day. Not my official Coisir's day, but this is the Coisir's day for this tournament, and I want everyone up and everyone celebrating. Go find your neighbor, go find a drink, or come find me. because this will be a day of games, drink, celebration, and building of bonds between those who may not have them. So grab your drink, find us at the tourney grounds, and see if you be worthy of competing in my drinking games. So wake up! And you hear it kind of echo out and then fade from silence. You do start hear people around your tent starting rustling. You start to hear kegs being tapped and definitely feel kind of the vibe of celebration. And it's one of those things too. It's one of those, and you've kind of noticed it being in Coisir's presence a few times. You just feel this almost joyous, just a revelry sense kind of flow from him. This kind of almost be like a presence around you. This is clocked up to 12. It is definitely him pumping it through. Usually you only felt it when you're kind of in his proximity. This is he's blasting it through. Kind of the immediate vicinity. He's definitely kind of upping some of his godly magic on that side. Just to not manipulating people's moods, but if you were already if you lean into it, you can definitely kind of feel the joy and celebration. What's the crew do?
You want to go first?
Go ahead.
Mockery will call gals together to speak about what he saw and also likely what Jeet saw, without Mockery knowing that would be brought up there. And I imagine all that would be relayed.
How? I don't really recall exactly what. Oh, geez, I don't know the guy who approached Will and us. What was his name?
The one
from Festia. Yeah.
Oh, Pericles.
Yes. What? So he wanted us up in Festia as well. Was it Kata that he wanted us in, or was that
Kata with a promise of gold, land, and after we're done, we keep our ship.
okay? So there's potential to maybe double up on that journey.
And I mentioned this in the Discord too, but one thing that I'll mention again is throughout this session, you guys will hear from each of your archetype factions with a particular task that may send you to a different part of the world or even a Terria itself. So you guys will get to decide which you can double up on, where you want to go, which is kind of most important for the crew.
Kata is becoming more and more tantalizing by each passing moment. If we get the bounty on our heads. If not, if somehow we do get Thrax to join with the Imperialists, that changes things greatly. If we do get that bounty on our heads, Kata has the greatest potential for us to set ourselves up truly as a faction, as the Gavels, out for order. And while I know there are maybe a lot of hang-ups on aiding the Hell Knights, know that they are also for order, and this would be bringing down a fiend trying to sow chaos, trying to take up an opportunity to prey upon the weak and downtrodden. You'd still be doing the service of your gods.
Remind me, it's been a little while for me. What bounty? Wasn't it who's putting a bounty on our heads again?
The Imperialists, if we don't
My
get
mother.
Yeah.
Mother dearest.
Mother dearest is.
Well, with protest from your mother, but Prince of Terrace is the one that's really, really interested in having that put on you guys with your interactions last time.
Yeah, so, yes, I agree that Kata is looking to be the most appealing for now, if for nothing else than getting the mode of transportation, potentially owning it ourselves. I think we should work with the assumption that the bounty will be placed. Thrax will not bend the knee before the festival has ended. This is a long-term hope, if you wish. So, yes, we should assume as if we will have the bounty put on our heads. And even if we did not, we know that the path to restoring the Emperor leads outside of Eteria. So we should just leave.
I'm almost surprised.
Yeah, I think I am too. I did not realize. But we've gone through this many times. Things have changed.
And when it comes to Ada, well, I would have no qualms destroying vast amount of undead. There isn't people living in Ada. It is a wasteland. It's dead. And what isn't dead should be dead. And it is also the home of Sinzo Z, of his Chaosium, of terrible things. And well, if we do decide to go to it, we'd be doing a great thing. The only thing we'd gain from it is gold. We'd not gain a ship or land. The places where we'd gain renown from are the very places we'd be hounded from.
I see what you mean. But for myself, there is the twofold reason to go there. Where the Flame Keepers go, and already that means a path for me goes to there. But then the other reason is because they have attacked Eteria with the undead. If they've attacked Eteria, they'll attack other places too. So even if it doesn't win us renown, and I get the feeling that if we do this, it will earn Thrax renown, and he has so far shared renown and promoted us for when we have aided him. So it might still help us out. And who knows where the country will be, where the Empire will be within a few months. If it is sufficiently divided, then the bounty issued by Aterza will not apply in places controlled by Thrax, for example.
With that very same logic, we do have to consider that if we go out there with the aid of Thrax and his men and the Flame Keepers, that when we come back, that Thrax had not been so lucky in this war. That it is a possibility he can claim much territory, but it's also just as that while he might not be fully snuffed out in such a short amount of time, that he could end up on the losing end of things.
Belric, you would have heard during part of this conversation, I'm just assuming you're close to Will, you just heard Will spring to himself, yeah, understand, yeah, there's a lot undead there, we don't need to, not right now.
Ulrich's kind of looking, listening to the conversation, and then looking over at Will and what's going on over here? But I think he knows he's having his internal battle, but still a little odd.
There is another thing to consider, though this goes against my own point.
And he actually would turn to Belric as well.
If we go to Phasia, Bear's homeland, we'll be able to fight monsters and slay them. Which will work for you. But also, if we go to Ada, we'd be right next to the Oria forests, as well as Dosen Federation, which also works for you.
Right now I've got two things on my mind. One, winning this tournament, and two, and he kind of raises his glass. I don't know if anyone else is drinking right now, but with all the revelry going on, he's into his Coisir's party.
Did you raise the glass? I don't know how full your glass was at the moment. It gets topped off. You definitely
and then
the sound of people partying outside.
And then he just kind of looks at it in astonishment. And but you're right. Right now I'm leaning towards Fessia, not to help your Hell Knights, but to restore order there and bring it back to its natural order. I don't think there's any hope for Ada to go back to its natural order, and the arisen threat hasn't really, outside of Eteria, I haven't seen it rear its ugly head anywhere else. If it was in Dozan, then that would be a different story.
Will, I think without even asking, I think I know what your vote is.
You would probably know better than I do in that case. I'll be quite honest. I am very conflicted. I got a friend who isn't, but that's outside of my control.
I'm surprised the place full of undead and shadow demons.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound appealing, but I don't know if I've made this clear before. That's just Ryan saying this. I don't remember if I've said this already, but like, I, on the one hand, would very much. I'm honestly growing tired of Eteria, but I also feel very bad about leaving it behind. It feels like leaving a job unfinished, leaving a place, in fact, a little bit worse than we found it. It feels like if we leave now, we kind of just fucked things up and left. Where was the Ryan speaking? Where were the 3 pieces of the soul again? It was in the Dosan Federation, I think, was one of them.
I have that.
So it was in Dosa, after the Dosan Federation, Messia, and then Mechas. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we originally came to Eteria to find the Emperor, and we found his body, but that job's still not done. And we've gotten information that Eteria is not the place to finish that job. So if we want to finish the job we originally started, we'll need to leave Eteria.
Right. You're right. I do agree about leaving Eteria, but it seems like none of our other inquiries are pointing us toward the direction of places that would be furthering that goal.
Not exactly. Vacia's not too far either from Mechas or Mesia, depending on how the seas treat you, and Ada's right next to Dosan. After we get those done, we'll be right next to our quarries.
Certainly couldn't go on a world travel around the whole map. A large loop, even.
Just make a straight line across the world, if you look at it.
That would be fascinating and unbelievable experience. But what I suggest we do, speaking both as the quartermaster and just as myself, focus on the very next thing. By the time we are done with our next thing, potentially Kata, everything might have changed.
Perhaps. Remind me, Tegan, is this the whole world, this map? Or is this
it's
just
the whole world, yeah. It's,
right.
It's a globe, too. Yeah, so
okay, so
yeah.
Okay, that actually does change things a bit.
Oh, that would make Ayla like a hop, skip, and a jump away from Eteria. A straight line down.
Oh, yeah. A lot of this stuff... Okay, then that means a lot of this stuff is closer together than I thought. Cool.
Mockery will say one more thing on the matter, and he turns to Wisteria.
We haven't gotten not quite a vote yet, but your weight on the matter so far.
I've been thinking about it as we've discussed all these various important points to consider. And this might surprise you to hear it, but I think the best thing for us to do is focus on where we're at right now and this tournament, and specifically be as prepared as possible for our next 2 fights, because they'll be even harder than the ones we've done before. And I hypothesize that the best way to be prepared is to have a fun day today. I think it'll encourage us to be more cooperative and raise our spirits in a way that'll have a tangible impact on the fights to come. It'll give us some respite and give us some time to recover, stretch our limbs, and loosen any tight muscles after the previous 2 fights. And I mean, the biggest factor we have going into these remaining fights is our care for each other in the gavel. And so anything we do to build that up and enhance it will be useful for us.
Here.
Yeah.
Will raises a glass and then looks at it, wonders where it came from, and just shrugs and drinks it.
Whatever Will's drink of choice is, kind of a version of it appears in that glass. So Will,
It's like-
I think
He's like raises a glass and then realizes like, when did I get this?
Elric is kind of like looking at Wisteria, kind of astounded, right? Like this is, and yeah, he'll hear and kind of slap her on the back, like proud.
So anyway, I'm excited to find out the rules of these games, what prizes are offered, and figure out the best way to optimize the income for the gavel.
And then he goes away. Then he turns around and goes. He's like, "All right."
And you do hear a crowd chanting, "Games, Coisir's Day! Games, Coisir's Day!" From outside.
I believe that's where we should join in with that chant.
Did you hear that? I think that was the sound of the GM outside.
And
Uh,
Go ahead.
I imagine we join them. We join
Yeah,
the Coisir's
go
team.
outside, find out what's going on, where games are happening, where stuff's going on, where the people are, where the fun stuff's happening.
You are able to make your way outside, and you see kind of this throng of people heading to like one of both the outskirts and to the tournament Coliseum itself. And you see like people busting kegs, people playing, like you see versions of Flip Cup, people just drinking, people like celebrating, playing music, singing songs, like bawdy drinking songs. Like people are just like living it up. It's only 9 a.m. People are already going like hard, like it's for the whole day. But you do see a throng of people heading into the Coliseum, and you hear a sign, or you even hear a kind of a little satyr kind of mention. He goes, "Adventurers, make your way to the Coliseum. That is where Coisir will hold his games for those who adventure far and wide in Kazia. That's where you can earn your chance for Coisirian nectar. Make your way there and see if you are proven worthy for the gift of the gods." And you see kind of it's a throng of people both there to spectate as well as to participate in Coisir's games. And eventually you're able to make your way into the Coliseum itself. You see Coisir, this little halfling with golden glowing eyes, and you see a golden mug in his hand as he talks to the throng of participants. And he goes, "Laddies, we got a lot of fun games to you today. And as I said, I'm giving you the nectar of the gods, my own very own homebrew, Coisirian nectar. It has been the thing that some adventurers have said has kept them between life and death. It has been the thing that has saved the world, or two, even a time or two, if I may say myself. The Grove, the heroes of old even said that they would not have been able to stop the infernal invasion without this divine drink." You see him look up and he goes, "Now, some of you may have heard about a slight yesterday. One of these competitors called my drinks goat piss. This
Oh
is not
no!
goat piss. This is not,
Oh no!
Mockery is a joke, but that's
Mockery
We'll
is
keep
just
our eye
gonna
on
be
that.
like,
Who said that?
not remembering it was him.
But today we got 5 games. Well, 6 if you count the last. That you could participate in and pretend your chance to earn the nectar. Now, no rule against it, but we only give the nectar out to one person. You can definitely pass it amongst your teams if you have teams you're competing with. And if you'd like to, I wouldn't recommend utilizing it during the tournament, but you are able to, if you are still in the tournament, to utilize the Coisirian nectar to advance your own wins. But as I said, it's been the difference between life and death for quite a few adventurers. I'm not sure if I'd use it for gold and glory, but hey, you do you. But we've got 5 games, 5 main games of the last. It's good to end the night with some bar trivia. But we've got the dirt of the enhanced darts of the bars of Asada. It is where you have to throw your dart through the handle of the weeest mug to be able to get it through to hit your target without knocking it over, and the ones who hit the bullseye the most without knocking over the mug will win. We also have the keg toss, where you have to hurl a keg and have one of your comrades catch it without spilling a drop. If you spill a drop, that is, I'm usually a fairly chill guy, but that is one of my anathemas. You will be out of the competition. We also have, for those who don't like the rules or like a lot of thinking, we have a straight up drinking competition. With my Coisirian absinthe, to see how much you can pound down before you go down. For those who just like to have a sit and drink. Now, for those who like to talk, like to spin a tall tale, we have the tales from the end. A chance for you to be able to sit among other storytellers and see if your story can rile the crowd up the most and earn the most applause, gasp, whatever you may go for. And then the final one, for those who feel they are quick on their feet and can drink at the same time, we've got our drink race. You've got to pound a glass of the Coisirian absinthe and then just run your heart out and see if you are able to beat the others. So games upon games, a chance for you to see other people, earn these Coisirian nectars, and just relax and think about what the world could be if this was every day. But go, compete! And you see him like smash, or not smash, like clink his mug against a cask of ale, and then fill up his mug again, and he takes a big drink and says, "Go! Enjoy yourselves." So you guys have those 5 games. There will be a team trivia one at the end as well for a chance to win some additional, for maybe a potential extra Coisirian nectar, or one for maybe somebody that didn't win in a game. You've got the enhanced darts. You've got the keg toss, which is a paired one. You've got the drinking competition, which is just straight chugging down. You've got the tall tales and the drink race. What do you guys want to start with? Is you can only win once for yourself, but you can still compete in other games even if you've already won.
Mocker's gonna call dibs on the drink race. Not necessarily to do it first, but he's just 8 points of that.
I can do that.
Are we all doing, like, when we do one of these, like, are we going to do all 5 of these, everyone, or are we going to pick and choose, like, one person does
You guys
one?
can do either or. If you'd like to do them all,
Belric's feeling pretty ashamed of being drank under the table by that elf on the Pandemonium team, so he's down for just about everything, but certainly the drink race and the drinking competition are going to be 2 things he's rearing to do.
Right, and all of these things are happening simultaneously, and so that means that you can do them in any order you want, correct? Or do you have
exactly, you can do them in any order you'd like.
Because I'm worried, like, could perhaps doing one of them mess you up for doing the next one? Like, if you do the drinking competition first, are you going to be, like, still drunk to try to do the darts?
You could be. You could sit
Yeah.
Do we want to start with the dwarf and the dog going for a drunken race?
Will's
And I
fast.
just said dash, a drunken dash, and more alliteration.
Yeah, do it. More the merrier.
Will is fast.
The more people we have, the more. I mean, that's what this day's about.
Wait, are you guys talking about like the drinking competition or the drink race?
Drink race.
Oh yeah, G10.
Oh my
Oh yeah,
God.
G also is very fast too because he has like that spell. Although that's probably cheating, right? I don't know how that works.
I don't think that would be cheating. That's just calling upon Nard. That's just the spell. Imagine, T can correct me if I'm wrong. Imagine so long as it didn't make you immune to being poisoned, the whole point of this, it'd probably be fair game, right?
Depends on the game for what the spell. So for like the drinking competition, darts and the keg toss, he would definitely be like no magic and love off. But for Tall Tales, you can't charm people, but you can definitely use magic to enhance your story. And then for the drink race, if you wanted to use some magic, you'd be able to.
All right, let's do it.
Is Wisteria joining the drink race, making this a whole gavel affair?
Is it COS Mockery? Do you think that would increase or decrease our chances of success?
We're competing individually.
So it would increase the chance of one of us winning.
Yeah.
True.
Each individual, not necessarily.
I have my eye on that dart competition, and I want to make sure I'm not impaired in any way for that. So I will cheer you on from the sidelines and maybe try to point out better running techniques as you go on.
That's if your voice can catch up with us. We may be running faster than the wind itself can keep up with. Beshnit, where are you going? Which game are you doing?
You see Beshnit goes, and he actually brought like this little standard of the gavel that he made a while back. He goes, I am not competing today. He does have a drink in his hand, though. I am moderately indulging, mostly making sure that the group I belong to, these gavels, do not embarrass our standard. You see him point back.
Hogwash! Enjoy a little, live a little. When's the last serve? What's the chances we do it again?
Wisteria, can you calculate that for me? I feel like it's quite high. I feel like it's
Lord.
There's too many variables.
Oh, dang!
But it sounds like you guys are doing the drink race, and you see kind of Arapo standing next to like this kind of like this makeshift track, and you see like they're like this table kind of arrayed with these little golden cups filled with like this almost glowing greenish liquor within, and he goes, "Hey, it's the gavels. You lot are doing good. You running?"
That's the plan.
Aye.
I want to look at the course. Is it like just like a flat, just like straight up sprint, or is it like an obstacle course, or what's the situation?
This is a sprint. He's gonna break down the rules. Got two ways you could do this. You could drink your drink before you run. You could try to drink or hold your drink while you run and try to have to make sure you balance the cups so not a drop spills. But the way that the rules are going to work for this is you're going to have to make the fortitude save for the Coisirian absinthe if you when you drink it. If you don't drink it and you try to just run it out, you're going to have to make an acrobatics check to see if you can keep the drink from spilling. But either way, you're going to be able to make an athletics check to see how fast you run this. The nice thing, though, is we're going to take in your speed accounts. For anybody that has higher than 25 feet of movement, each 5 feet is going to give you a +2 circumstance bonus to your speed. So I think a couple of you will. In Mockery, you've got a 35 in speed. You guys get a +4 circumstance bonus to your check on that side due to being pretty quick on that. Basically, what it'll be is all the runners will get a chance to go. You've got to drink your liquor, or if you try to hold off drinking your liquor to the end, which if you drink it and it kind of goes poorly with your fortitude roll, it could have a minus to it. So it's kind of a little strategy based on that. And then whoever is crossed the line with their liquor drunk wins the race. And
all right, so because it's based on athletics, I'm actually quite bad at this. Mockery, you got this.
I want to bring up Mockery could be faster, yet he's still wearing his hell plate for this.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, a 35 speed with hell plates. And as he sees this in front of him, he will, something he's not done so far really too much, he will utter a small prayer to Rog, who he knows was quite the champion at drinking.
And as you kind of speak the prayer, and as one of you mentioned wind a little bit earlier, you see Wiru, the kind of like this human with this shock of white hair who you saw floating on the air after their tournament victory, part of the Adamantium Renegades, almost like just float up at like high speeds. And he goes, "Oh, we're running? You guys are running? Okay, yeah, let's do it. Okay, I'm fast. You guys are fast. Let's see who brings it home. We beat you in the drinking game yesterday, so I feel like we should win 2 here, but who knows? It could be anybody."
Oh.
I love the fact he said it didn't say I'm fast, you're fast. It's like I'm faster, you're fast.
Perfect. But yeah, so anybody have any questions? The rules pretty simple. You've got your liquor to drink, fortitude save at DC 22. You've got your chance to run. Anybody that there's another part of that too. If your speed is below 25 by 5, you take a -2 circumstance penalty to your athletic score. But for anybody that has the bonuses, or anybody that's above, you get the bonus. If you're 25 at all, you're just flat even. And then the one with the highest athletics check at the end will win.
So Jeet will play without his armor, so that's a 25-foot movement speed, and he won't cast Tailwind on himself. He's playing the games without any spells.
All right.
Perfect. You see,
Not even athletic rush.
What spell? I'm just running.
There's no Nars flames around me right now.
It would be very bad if there were Nars flames around him right now.
Just ignore the fire coming from my shoes.
Jeet, really? Unarmored in the race?
What do you mean? The armor is pretty much a hindrance. I'm a little confused as to why you're keeping it on.
I'm just tackling your...
He pats his.
I'd be remiss, especially after being complimented for it, to doff my health plate for this.
Will whispers to Jeet, I think he can't take it off.
Jeet laughs. All right, I'll prepare remove curse for him.
And Mockery will also add,
Not to mention, with this, I do feel as though the very gods are with me.
All
Did you
right, so I'm
see
going to
a
cast
raffle?
Force Barrage on the other competitors. And
Thus.
Very fitting for the Tournament of Peace.
it's a death race.
You do see a raffle go, all right, lads, get set. Grab your drink. Go. So, who is not chugging their drink at the start? Who is going to try to run with their drink and chug it in?
Is there any penalty to chugging the drink first? Because you said there's a penalty for running with it. Is there any benefit to keeping it on you while you run?
Oh yeah, because if you fail the fortitude save, you take a -2 circumstance bonus or penalty.
Oh, gotcha. Well, all right. I'm gonna try it anyway, but I'm
chugging.
I'm gonna have a plus 4 athletics, I think. 2.
Mockery is
You're pretty
chirping.
fast, but you be 4.
I am an expert, so if you wanted to just follow me, you could be following the expert.
It's drafting.
I'm holding on to mine.
Ooh, all right.
He's got the acrobatics.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I'm drinking it first.
I'm drinking it.
He fails. So you see Wiru's like chugging down like this deeply bit of this absinthe.
I'm using my hero point ASAP.
First roll. There we go.
Wow! Holy shit! Okay, I'm using an ability right now. Hell Knight Plate, Envision, reaction. When you fail attack roll, check, or saving throw. We're doing it again with a +2 this time.
Can you use this?
I
really
I
wants
don't
to win
think
this
you're
race.
kidding.
I mean, honestly, I think you're the one most likely out of us to win. So,
So Mockery, damn good that he said that.
Did we lose him?
Oh, yeah, he froze.
Yep.
Oh no!
Well,
How nice they're taking their vengeance.
his prayer wrong was answered on that side. So anybody that rolled a 21 or rolled below a 21, you take a -2 penalty. So that's Weirdo. And just Weirdo, looks like.
I rolled exactly
you-
what I needed on a 2.
You see he is struggling, swaying a little bit, but then you see he starts to run. Everybody give me an athletics check.
Wait, do I do acrobatics or yeah?
Oh yeah, I forgot you didn't check yours. Yeah, give me an acrobatics check first.
Okay. Yikes.
I'd use your hero
Good point.
point if you want to
Good
stay in this.
Okay. Well,
Oof.
not great.
Unfortunately, Belric, as you were running, like just a drop spills out, and Arapo goes, party foul. The dwarf, you're out.
Ah.
All right. So yeah, Weirdo only got a 19 there. Oh, he's 21 there, with his -2 but +4 from his speed. So it looks like, is Mockery back yet? No. Well, you guys see kind of hoofing through the the arena. Like you see Weirdo is like he's struggling to go through, usually as fast as the wind, but you see he's almost like this deep alcoholic bite, the liquor slowing it down. Belric, you see the splash of liquor kind of falling through. Jeet running quickly. Will, did you roll?
No, not for the race yet. No, I rolled the save, but I haven't rolled for the running yet. Should I do that now? Hold on.
Yep.
Okay, go. Hey, not bad. That's really good for me.
You do have your +4 there, so you're a little bit behind Jeet, but still keeping up on that side. As Jeet appears to be the winner. Oof! I was hoping Mockery would get back in by now.
We roll for him.
Yeah, I think we'll roll for him on this one. Find his sheet.
Does he use?
Drink save.
I briefly considered using my wings, like just popping out the angelic wings and flying through the race, but it actually would have slowed me down a little bit. So.
I don't have any magic I can use.
4 to that. So you do see like Mockery sprinting through, just kind of edging out Jeet and Will, crossing that finish line first. And you do see Arapo go, well, look at that! In his armor, no less. You see, and you kind of see him like gesture into kind of gesture up to the sky, and you see this like potion in a golden vial appear in his hand. He goes, Coisir nectar. Is it literally the drink of the gods or adventurers and those lucky enough to find themselves in Coisir's company? Take this and use it well. And he does give Mockery a copy of, or a vial full of that Coisirian nectar. Hopefully, we'll let Mockery know when he rejoins. Oh,
I just got back. What did I miss?
You won. You won. So yeah, I rolled for you, but you got a 29, just edging out Jeet.
Heck yeah! So Mockery is just like, I won! And he'll look to the Coisir's nectar with wide eyes, and he looks to Jeet.
Next time, maybe.
So you give it to him. He goes, that was a fine race, even with all that armor on. But go find other games. And you do see Weirdo who's like just kind of stumbling a little bit, like he's doing that, like it's hot out. I've tried to run after drinking, like he's doing that panting, like bent over a little bit, and he goes, oh, and he's actually talking slow for once. You let's go. I'm feeling that absinthe.
Oh no! Here, let me help you. I want you to watch our teams just try their best.
Mockery just trying desperately not to be like, watch the Gabbles dominate. He'll help him out to the other the games. Let him catch his breath.
Absinthe is absolutely not a drink I would want to chug.
No. I think we should go over to the darts area next.
Agreed.
I'll watch as you all do the other stuff, and then the moment someone is ready to do the keg toss, just let me know.
Yeah, I think Wisteria and Belric, forgot your name for a second, will be the ones for the dart game.
Definitely.
You guys are able to kind of find like almost like this. It's like double the length of like a regular dart, like kind of where you have to stand to throw darts. And you see kind of like right in front of where like the board is, like this mug with like a little handle on that. And you do see standing next to this one is just kind of a regular old satyr. And he goes, "All right, to compete in this one, you're going to need to throw your dart through the mug hole and hit the bullseye." And you guys see him passing out darts while I'm doing that. So there are dart. If you just use the regular darts in the compendium, drag one over, you could utilize that for your throw. And he goes, "You get 3 throws. If you roll, and if you in in-game mechanics, if you roll below a 20, you're going to hit the mug. Above a 20, you're going to be, or so 20 or below, you hit the mug. Above a 20, you're able to get it through the opening and onto the board itself. And then from there, you're going to get 3 throws, and we're going to track your 3 highest throws to see kind of how much you win by.
Your weapons can use strength, can't they?
I think so. Yeah.
You know what? Mockery is decently strong. Unless this is happening while the race is happening.
Oh no, because they're competing in the race. Anybody can jump in there. Mockery said you won't be able to win again, but you can definitely compete.
Oh, he'll definitely be competing then. Even if he can't win it. He'll still try and
I think thrown weapons still use your dex for throwing, but they will add your strength to damage.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
I already committed.
All right, so drag a dart onto your character sheet, and you see kind of stepping up to this. It's been probably a while since you've seen him. You see this winged Strix kind of just going through, a bandana still over his face, even with all of the crowd and revelry. You see a Carl from Squad 7. And you see, like, he just kind of waves at you guys as well. Did anybody? I don't think any of you guys did. Nobody took sign language for you, right? You do see, like, he signs something off, and then you just hear from, like, deep in the crowds, Olo's voice goes, "He said hi."
I'll wave.
But you see him pick up the darts. So with this one, it's Mockery, Belric, Wisteria. Perfect. So yeah,
Can I cast guidance on somebody, or is that frowned upon?
That would not, without you competing, that would be frowned upon. And actually, for this one too, for the toss, the dart throw, and then there's another one I forgot. I've looked at my games. Those ones were no magic ones. It was tall tales and the race you could spend magic on.
Okay.
I think Wisteria kind of looking at this area in our competition. So she's wearing the mirror robe that I bought with all these little like reflective mirrors. I think carefully she's going to try to kind of position herself to reflect some light from the sun on some of our competitors' mugs. Trying to do so without being caught, but maybe just to distract them a little bit and make it a little bit harder for them to hit their bullseye.
All right. So post that, as well as give me like a post to see exactly what that does first.
So it can create diversions for me. So maybe I can roll something like that, or
perfect. So who are you? I imagine you're probably going to try to distract Akaro, or are you trying? All right. So give me a deception check for the robe, and then give me like a stealth check for Wisteria.
All right, I'll do the robe first. All right, we'll keep with that, and then the do you want me to do stealth or like thievery?
Stealth. Kind of just how well you can do this without the satyrs noticing.
Sounds good.
Solid. You see, like, Wisteria, you do like this is the most sly way imaginable. The satyr is just not catching on. You kind of get their light shining towards Akaro, just kind of just buzzing into his eyes. But unfortunately, you see him blink and just almost go eagle-eyed. Unfortunately, he's able to shake it off. That did not beat his will on that side. But you are able to do it without the tournament officials noticing. But all right, you guys get 3 darts. So 3 throws. Use your multi-attack penalty. Below 20 or below, you hit the mug, and then any above 20, we'll be able to kind of count and see how well you do compared to the rest of the crew. So Carl's going to throw his 3.
Are we drinking first before that, or just go?
This was just a straight throw. Yeah.
All right. I know it could only risk a penalty, but could Mockery still drink right before throwing?
It is traditional to play darts while drunk. I think they do that in official, like professional darts tournaments and shit.
Have to have some beer in your left hand. Yeah.
I get that. I can't play cornhole without a beer in my left.
Exactly.
So yeah, go for it. Take a drink. So you could do a regular beer if you'd like to, or if you want to do the absinthe again, your choice. So that with the beer has a much lower DC.
He'll just, since it's not a direct part of the competition, he'll go with a regular beer. It's a good thing.
Yeah, you're good. Luckily, it's 16 for just a regular beer, so you were able to just drink that without any difficulty there.
While he's chugging, who's going to be throwing next?
I'll go ahead and make my rolls.
All right.
So then I do one with the multi-attack penalty now, and then...
Yep, so one with the -4, and then one with the -8.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's see. I'll spend a hero point on that.
Did Akiro have any negative things when he threw?
He did.
The mirror? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, not from the mirror, but he did have his -8 and -4 applied.
Okay. All right.
Third one.
Okay.
Not too good.
Unfortunately, Wisteria, the first throw sings true, kind of fly right between the hole in the mug. The second one knocks the mug a bit and kind of spills a bit of liquor. The third one, unfortunately, knocks the mug over. But you do have one throw on there for plus 10 points. All right. Belric, Mockery, who's next?
I'll go.
All right, let's see it.
Dude!
There's only 3. You could still roll pretty well for the second one.
Oh, okay. I can keep. I thought I hit the glass if I roll under a 20.
You do, so you still get to throw with the glass.
Okay. All right. Things are happening.
Dang, those are with the multi-attack penalty.
Yeah, so first one, you hit the mug, doesn't send it crashing through, but you see it wobbling and a bit of liquor spills. The second 2, you're able to sing him through and get him into the bullseye, earning you 11 points. So Mockery, right now the score total is Belric's at 11, Wisteria is at 10, and then Akaro is at 21.
Roll your darts at Akaro.
So Marky's
Throw darts at him.
looking at this. He's going to give it his best shot. He's starting to see a little bit double from drunkenness and then realizes something.
Oh, wait, they...
Puts his glasses on.
Oh, I forgot he wears glasses.
And attack 1.
Ugh.
Attack 2.
Hey.
There we go.
Through. And attack 3. Dunk.
So yeah, you knock it the first time instead of wobbling. You get one through into the dartboard. The third one smacks into the mug and sends it crashing to the ground. And you see this little satyr goes, Akaro Mats of the squad 7 wins this game. Take the nectar of the gods. And you see Akaro just kind of like take this, kind of look at it for a moment, put it in his pack, and he just kind of waves at you guys before kind of retreating back.
I'm gonna steal it from him.
He earned it. I know. I was thinking about that too. But
I love how you
like-
said that immediately after you said he earned it. He earned it, but I will take it from him.
We can't win the games. We're mobbing. We're mobbing. All right. So you see that 2 of the games down, 1 nectar earned so far. But before we do that, Belric, you do see like both Bear as well as Red. Like Bear is kind of like nudging at you. Red, you see, is like squawking at you from the air. Both like trying to draw your attention, and you see is like if you look at them, they both head in the same direction.
that would be rare. So yeah, I would like kind of like put my beer down and regulate and follow them. I would be like, okay.
Get some breath, some fresh air in as you
Yeah.
follow them out. And you see them kind of like lead you not too far away from the Coliseum, but they kind of lead you out into the sands, kind of like almost into this little small oasis of water kind of next to the Coliseum. And you see as they kind of like sit on their haunches, you look towards the water and you see the reflection of the warden within. And you hear his low growl coming out. And he goes, Belric, we have need of your services.
I nod.
I've told you, you've seen what the corruption that can be spread by Ark. You know that your home is plagued by it. What you don't know is underneath within the underchasms of the dwarves, these factories are spewing out their poison into the earth itself, poisoning the gifts that were given to us. I want you to go to Dosa. I want you to blow up every factory. I want you to kill everyone who has polluted our earth. I want examples made. I want those who think that they can pollute Hira's gift to know that things in the night are going for their neck, that there is nowhere safe. There is no hole deep enough. There is no stronghold strong enough to outrun the hunters.
In Dozen? Is that what he said? Sorry, I'm not.
Oh yeah, so in Dosa. So in the Dosan Federation, but then Dosa itself.
Okay. That's where I'm from, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And that's where Ark first hit too.
Yeah. This is concerning, and what other information can you give me about these factories or this arc that's being created underneath Dosa?
We believe it is done by the Black Hands, those who have taken over the island. Outside of that, we don't have much. We just know that it ruins the land it sits upon, and it cannot be allowed to stand. They're deep beneath the caverns the dwarfs have carved through the mountains. But once you find them, whatever you need to do, bring them down.
I need no reward for such a thing, and I understand why this is warranted and why to do it, but I'm tied to the gavel right now, who's pulled in a lot of directions. It's going to be difficult for me to convince this potential tournament winning team to spend time, efforts, and potentially their lives doing this. Is there anything that the warden can offer us as a reward if we're able to accomplish this?
I can offer you gold, as well as a chance for those who are tuned, or who wish to embrace the natural way to learn a bit of nature's magic. And he would you kind of almost feel it versus him saying it, but he'd offer you 1,500 gold for this endeavor. And in playing terms, too, the group would get a chance to learn a bit of primal magic. So for those who don't have any spell casting, it'll just be a level 1 spell that you'd be able to learn and have 1 casting for it. For those who have kind of their own magic casting already, they'd be able to learn a spell of 1 below their max casting level on the primal chart.
I do want to briefly mention the primal casting list is really cool.
I don't know what the primal casting list is.
Fireball surprisingly on it for Pathfinder. It's always like that primal gets fireball and like a lot of like cool evocation spells.
Fireball would be dangerous for this group. Like I said, we're being pulled in a lot of directions, but my primary goal is to appease the warden and to restore the natural order. So I'll do whatever I can to defeat the Black Hands, and as I said, restore order and especially remove the arc. The arc from spreading outside of Dosa and hopefully anywhere.
You hear him kind of growl. Good. Continue along as you've done. Make sure that they know that any who have harmed our natural land, we are coming, and we are coming without mercy. And you see kind of like the waters ripple, and it kind of just fades back into just kind of oasis waters.
Belric kind of like looks over at Bear for assurance that just happened, because he's like, he had been drinking, and he's like, it's absinthe. That makes you like hallucinate. So he like looked at Bear. Bear gives him a nod, like, yeah, dude. The warden talking to you in the water. So he'll kind of like shake it off and then start going back towards the group, towards the gavel, back inside the party area.
Perfect. And Gavel, you guys are able to kind of get a little rebreather, probably get some food and use some there's like expansive amounts of food here, all free, all kind of like magicked into existence by Coisir's kind of divine might, but a lot of like just fun drinking food. You get like, there's a huge turkey legs around, there are pretzels, popcorn, all of like this just fun food that can soak up some booze and keep you going throughout the day. But with that, what's the group? What game are you guys doing next? You have you've done the drink race where you've earned one of the nectars of Coisir, enhanced darts where Akaru walked away with it, but you still have the keg toss, the straight up just drinking competition, and then the tall tales.
Keg toss, keg toss.
I think I'm going to commit to Mockery doing all the games, progressively getting more drunk.
Yeah, no, I'm doing all the games.
We gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
So it's the drinking duo of the Gavels committing to all the games.
So with keg toss, with this, there's one that's kind of the primary competitor. They're gonna be the one that like hurls the keg, but somebody does need to catch the keg. You guys, you could definitely catch twice if you'd like to. But how do you guys want to divvy it up?
There's 5 people here. Would I be able to do this with Bear?
Bear trying to catch it? Yeah.
All right.
Bear's got the keg on his neck.
He doesn't
He's
have
been
opposable.
waiting for
He
this.
doesn't have. Yeah, he's built for this. He doesn't have opposable thumbs. It's fine. He can have disadvantage, but this is our bonding moment.
So let me get mechanics out here for this one as well.
Sorry. Okay.
The keg toss, like the big first piece, is going to be an athletics check. So you can see how you can lift this up and how far you can throw it. And kind of with these numbers too, the athletics number is going to be the one that kind of tracks kind of how you're competing against the other people. So the athletics number is like kind of the big one, but on the other side, there's a catcher on that one. So it's going to be a reflex save to see if you can catch it. And bears, I mean, like they don't have thumbs, but they got like their claws are like suited enough. I'm not going to give you a penalty for it. With that, the bear will have to catch the throw. So the catch is just a standard DC, so 22. So as long as they catch it, you're good. And then the throw is where you kind of compete against everybody else.
I feel like mechanics-wise, it would be better for Bear to throw and Belric to catch, but that's also funnier if it was like that too. I won't. Whichever way
Will is gonna be-
I'm throwing the keg to my bear. The bear's not throwing the keg to the dwarf.
Will is
I
gonna
don't care
sit
about.
this one out. I will be crushed.
All right.
Wisteria. You need a catcher?
I do need a catcher.
I will catch anything you throw my way.
If that were the case, then I will. I'll go with mockery if that's okay. We can do all this out. I don't need bear.
We can still do bear catching because Belric, you wanted to throw too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I just thought. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
so yeah, you could throw the bear and then still catch for mockery.
I want to see how unlikely is it for Mockery to be able to catch his own keg given his speed.
It's impossible. Maybe if you were like high, like tier 4, you could be like, oh, I can throw my keg up and race to go get it, but not at this tier.
Fair enough.
Oh, and as you guys do make your way over there, you do see an old friend, or a new friend, I should say. You see he's in his shrunken form, but you do see Cabot. Like, he is just like excited, like the giant of the adamantium renegades. He goes, Gavos, you throw it, I'm throwing. Gee, I bet I throw farther than you.
Oh, you're on. Wisteria, go further back than needed.
Are you sure at this angle and with the wind coming in at this speed?
Okay, never
Yeah,
mind. Just hold fast. Be ready.
All right, I'll be ready to move.
Wait, you're not staying small, are you?
It better this way. Too many drunk people walking around. I don't pay best attention. Me small, nobody hurt.
Fair enough. Hey,
Mockery just like give him a little like not a hard bap on the like a friendly competition like forearm bap, just like
even though we're fighting soon, I like you guys. That wrestling moves, I barely remember them, but that's the only thing I remember from last night.
You guys good. As I said, Velnu may not like you, but no contract to kill you, so we have fun. I mean, we drink, we compete, we fight it out with no bloodshed, but nobody die tomorrow.
Exactly.
I want to see Belric throw the beer keg to the bear.
Belric, kick us off on that one. So athletics check to kind of hurl that thing across.
All right. If this is anything like how I've been rolling, I'm not gonna make it. All right. Sorry, bear with me here. Athletics throw. There we go.
Oh, that's
Oh
that's rough.
Jeez,
That was
man.
not been
no.
great.
Do you have a hero
today.
point?
Oh, I used up my first one.
Unfortunately, Belk, you get that up and you throw it. It doesn't go the furthest, but let's see if Bear can catch it at least.
All right, Bear.
Because if everybody else drops the keg, you can still win.
What is Bear rolling here?
A reflex save. Yeah, so Bear's on his shit. Like, you see, like, Bear catches it. He almost tries, like, Bear tries to cheat a little bit for you and, like, pull it back like you threw it further. Everybody sees it, but Bear, like, just expertly caught that.
Could have had Bear thrown it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So our athletics check to beat right now is 12. Reminder, if the keg drops, and you're disqualified. So 12 could still win this pretty feasibly.
Belleric, you want to see if you're better at catching?
Hi.
There's some kind of fetch joke in this, but I don't quite like it.
All right. Mockery's going to throw.
All right. So 25 could be the new number to meet. Belric, give me a reflex. Yeah, Belric.
Nice.
Mocker, how's it look at you, girl?
Mockery has he's got the hefty hauler feet, so he's doing this one-handed, just picks it up, holds it back, and tosses it like a football.
Belric, you were able to expertly catch that as well. How do you pull that off?
I mean, I'm a little dwarf and it's a big, like, this thing's almost the size of me. So, like, when I catch it, I'm behind it and all my momentum goes backwards. So, like, I just get under it and kind of cradle it in.
All right. So Mockery's 25 is the number to beat. Jeet, do you want to go first or Cavett go first?
Kevin can go first.
All right. So you see Cavett kind of like haul back with this keg and just hurl it over a hand to I forgot to say who he's hurling to.
Probably the ranger.
It'd be funny if it was Velnu.
He's going to throw it to his boss. You see Arog on the other side. Arog doesn't seem like he really wanted to compete in this event. He's already had a few drinks. It seemed like he was just like, he's just kind of chilling, kind of catching the vibe, but he is willing to catch his giant's throw. So you see him kind of hurl it back for 33. So let's see if Kabak can catch it, or Arog can catch it. Arog fucks it up. So you see Kabak hurl back, throw this thing there. You see Arog, like, Arog's already had a few drinks. He didn't really want to be there. He really wasn't trying his hardest. You see him fumble it, the keg fall and shatter. You see Kabak go, "No, I throw hard. You were supposed to catch. That's all you had to do." Just like, he is pissed.
G has to like barely control his laughter as he says that's rough, buddy.
You're supposed to be a Black Tusk. This isn't drinking games. Where's the fury?
You see Arog, he's been pretty proud. He looks a little ashamed now. Like, he really was, like, he didn't want to be there. He wasn't giving it his all, but he didn't think he'd fuck it up like this. So he just kind of hangs his head down. He goes, "Sorry, Gavin." And Gavin is stomping around right now. Like, he's stomping around and playing with his ring, like,
Threatening.
I want to grow big and just like have a temper tantrum, but he doesn't do it.
Whew. All right. Jeet's a little cocky as he grabs the barrel, the keg, picks it up, and tosses it towards Wisteria. Okay.
All right.
All right. So you hurl it through. Wisteria, you're able to catch it. And you're able to keep that on. So with that too, so Mockery, you're the crowned the winner of this, but the Coisir nectar is passed off to Jeet. He goes, as I said, lad, you can only win once for the nectar, but this is part of your crew. So next up gets the win. Drink it responsibly.
Cheers, Coisir.
You gotta go. Yes. So you guys have competed in 3 of the 5 games, earned
One
2
moment.
nectars. Go ahead.
There's a keg right there. Mockery's got to chug it before the next game.
The whole keg? You will
I
die.
went through the whole keg. Maybe get a little victory.
A decent bit of it. Not the whole keg. He wants to share it with I almost said Katep. Is that right?
Katep, yeah.
My bad. He's going to take his swig from it, give the rest to Kavip because he knows his keg got broke.
Perfect. Give me a 4 inch. You just got to beat a 16. There you go. Keeping yourself on the level there. You see Kavip does take a drink as well. He's the same. He's still like near a temper. Like he's pouting right now. But you kind of you hear him muttering on his breath. Would have won if he caught it. I threw furthest.
We should have caught it. I'm sorry.
I thought I nice as leader to play. Wanted to ask my friend, but no. I was like, leader, he should play too. But nope. Leader let me down. But with that, you kind of see like just kind of like all that going through. Will, as like you're watching kind of your crew throw and catch kegs, you see like this old dwarf kind of like walking with like a little hitch in their giddy up, and they're like almost theatrical limp, kind of walking to you, and you see like it just walks back up to you and like waving its cane at you, going, "Well, back in my day, you didn't just sit out the games; you competed." Kids these days don't want to compete. You just sitting around lazing about this new generation, and kind of say, you see as it kind of goes on this long, not long, but moderately long rant, a smile just starts to almost unwillingly creep across the dwarf's face.
I just like look at it, at this person, just like with my hands on my hips, like, "Hello, Mara."
You see like flips like kind of like this like little bit of dirt on, and you see it like as it flips, like it turns itself into a scarf, and you see her kind of full appearance coming through, and she looks at you and goes, "You're catching on to the games."
Gonna have to try a little harder to catch me on that one.
Oh, well, I hoped you'd be drunk and I wouldn't have to work hard.
I mean, I'm working on it. Don't you worry about that. Maybe come back in another 20 minutes.
Well, I wanted to catch you before you're too drunk because I didn't want to have to repeat myself. But do you have a moment?
Absolutely, always for you.
You kind of see her, like, she leads you kind of away to a quiet part of the Coliseum, and she looks back at you, and kind of see her, like, stretching out to her full height, kind of keen eyes looking back at you, and Kara goes, "Well, unfortunately, I do have a serious matter to speak with you on. The organization uncovered some foul rumors, and we'd like you to take a look for us. Are you familiar with the Great Clash in Messia?"
I don't think I am, actually.
Well, it's one of the things that Vox Populi really appreciates. It's one of the only nations where you can rise to be its leader with no noble blood. While it is based off strength and kind of martial talent, it is one of the most fair nations where the voice of the people we feel is heard. With that, though, we've heard a bit of corruption. Messia, and from your own background with the Lightbringers and the Luminescence, you may have heard, it is cursed by Hikari to not have true light. So they can, almost like a grayscale light. And with that, vampires often find their home there, especially since Keru established it early during the Infernal Invasion. We've heard that the vampires are organizing and kicking off. And we kind of heard two competing rumors. One is that they're trying to influence the winners of the Great Clash to make Messia a home to vampires, so they would not be hunted upon its shores. And the other rumor is that they found a method to rend the divide between realms, and they're trying to break in to a realm. We've not heard where or why, but both these, the influencing of the clash and breaking this barrier between realms, we can't let these vampires do it. These unholy creatures are almost everything against everything that Vox Populi stands for. They can twist the minds of your average person and make them do things they would never do. We almost feel that they are the worst of the nobles who misuse their power. And we'd like you to investigate, find exactly what they are doing, and put a stop to it, and make sure that the Great Clash goes on undisturbed, and that the people of Messia are safe.
When you say breaking down the barriers between realms, do you have any more details on that? What exactly do you mean?
Well, she goes, well, a little bit of theology, and you probably know this a little better than I, but the realms, the gods, all of the true gods have their own realm. And sometimes the gods do not allow mortals to make their way in, even if they are capable of shifting planes. It sounds like they may have found some type of power, some type of rune or scroll that is allowing them to break into realms, thought laws. We're not sure which realm they want to break into. Some have heard that they are trying to free Keru from his imprisonment, but others have said that they have other aims, but we've not been able to put any authentication on these whispers, which is what we're hoping you can do for us.
Do I know who Keru is? Keru?
Give me either a religion check, actually give me a religion check with your background with the luminescence. Or do you have luminescence lore?
No, I have Lumox lore.
So yeah, give me a religion check.
Okay.
This man is a scary man indeed.
So you would know, especially growing up within kind of the Lightbringer or the luminescent flavor of the Lightbringer Church, you would definitely have heard of Keru. Keru is the first vampire. He is the one who created vampirism. He's kind of a mix of a sorcerer and an alchemist who basically found his own way to cheat death by making himself a vampire and spreading vampirism among his followers. At one point, he became a god, but he lost his godhood, and the church kind of gets iffy on this. Some say he was imprisoned after the Infernal Invasion. Others say he was just banished. Others say he just left the mortal plane. But nobody knows what plane of existence he's on at the moment. People are certain he's alive, but they're just not sure where he is.
That does sound disturbing. I'll have a conversation with my compatriots about it. We have a lot of competing interests recently, and so I'm not 100% sure I'll be able to take on this job, but I will at least discuss it with my allies.
That's all we ask. I think you would do well to see the Great Clash. From what you've heard, or what you've mentioned of not trusting those in power, at least I appreciate a chance where the lowliest, as long as they're strong and believe in their cause, can become the newest of their rulers. Not quite democracy, but I think the closest we've seen.
Well, I'll keep it in mind at the very least. I always appreciate a visit from you. About her.
No bows here. What I may be yours a little higher up in the organization. We're all equals in Vox Populi. As long as we are going after our duties and fulfilling our missions, no need to bow. But make sure you're practicing your scarf game, though. I want to make sure that you can get your infiltrations in when you need to. And you see as she says that, she kind of theatrically flashes her scarf. You see, rather than the old dwarf she was last time, she's like a dragonborn with blue scales and like this deep blue robe. You see her give a wink at you before she kind of like mixes into the crowd and grabs a drink.
Wonder when is mine gonna be able to do that? I like look at the scarf and like, oh yeah, I forgot I can't do that. Yeah, it's just how to look at it a long time. It can't do that. Yeah.
Perfect, but yeah, eventually you are able to rejoin the Gavels. And actually, let's do that. Let's take a quick 5-minute break as we get into the last few games and archetype pieces and Coisir's day as a whole. So we'll come back 9:06 and get in the last part of the adventure. Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of session 5. The crew is competing in Coisir's day. Having already earned 2 Coisirian nectars, which little refresh is basically long rest in a bottle, along with some extra special effects too, depending on kind of the luck of the draw for the drinker, but one that can bring you back to full health, bring your spell slots back to full power, everything that you need to continue in the fight. You guys have earned 2 bottles so far, but there's still some drinking games left. You kind of look around for what you guys have not competed in yet, and you see straight drinking competition. Coisir himself is running this one with people lifting mugs and just pouring them back. And you do see the tall tales as well, where people are trying to tell stories to captivate the crowd and see if they can earn either the most applause, acclaim, or gasp and shudders, kind of depending on however you want to spin your tale to the people. Which do you guys want to do next?
I think Will would be good at the tall tales thing. I don't know if I'm going to be required to be good at it, though. I think Will would be interested in that.
Definitely. As you go over there, you do see kind of running this one and seeming like a little out of place amongst all of this revelry. You do see the kind of the beacon form of head librarian Oline, kind of standing there and judging the stories, kind of monitoring kind of the impact it has on the crowd. And you see as you guys walk up, she goes, "Well met, Gavels. Are you here to compete in the storytelling? The rules are very simple. You just have to tell a tale. It could be true. It could be something that you've experienced, one of your adventures, or something you've invented in your own mind. The main thing with this is a lot of all tall tales go, is you just have to get the crowd behind you. You'll need to have them either cheering for the success you've earned, fearful of whatever horrible creature you came across. Whatever you may do, if you want to have them happy, you can go for it. Scared, it's up to you. But we want you to tell a captivating story." You see her kind of bring up her own notepad where her own self, kind of their own awakened quill is just kind of fiercely scribing down with the tales that the people said. I like to catalog these for books in the libraries. They can be, well, not generally factual. They can be good fiction reads for those who come across. But who will compete? And think of the story you want to tell. And outside of this, in kind of a mechanical view, you get a chance to kind of tell a story. You can and make up your own little short story, kind of whatever you were thinking of on that side. This is mainly going to deal with the charisma skills. So if you want to kind of theatrically tell it and kind of like add in like just bits of flourish, you could do performance. If you want to convince the people of something, kind of like give like a tale that has a lesson at the end of it, diplomacy. If you want to just scare the hell out of people, you could tell us a horrifying tale with intimidation. And it is going to be 2 roles competing against see kind of who gets the crowd most involved.
Mockery's throwing his hand there. Not physically, that's just the thing I say.
Cheat, yeah, you know what? Cheat will think of like his favorite story from the mythology of Nar, not realizing that most people have heard it too many times already, the Atarians. But yeah, he'll pick one of those and say like, yeah, good time for it.
You're telling a story of your god too, then?
Yes, I am. Are you telling the story of your gods?
Fortunately, only one of them. Back when he was mortal. Back when he was in a legendary party known as the Grove.
I'll participate as well. I have a few ideas, but I'll see. I don't know if I'll have as big as an impact on the crowd as each of you might.
I have a funny idea, and therefore I'm gonna do. I know what I want to do.
Bedrick, you already said you're in it. What do you have planned?
Yeah, I mean, I said I was in it, so I guess I'm in it.
You first, actually. Go ahead.
No. You guys were a little too excited.
And you do see kind of striding up, like his armor gleaming, smile upon his face. You do see Barrick Anderson, leader of the High Arbiter Squad 7s, walk up. He goes, Gavels?
Good to see you.
Eric, you're telling a story.
I did not know you guys would be competing now, but yes. Wanted to tell a tale of my Squad 7. And you kind of see him like stand a little bit perkier. Mockery, one thing you notice, no roll necessary on his armor. Because he's got like this gleaming silver armor. And on one side, he's always had the High Arbiter symbol. And the other side, the blue falcon of Codinia. You see that the other side, look, it's still gleaming, still very shiny. But the blue falcon's not on his armor anymore.
Mockery goes stunned silent for a minute and just like points to where it was.
What happened? Did they get too damaged?
You gotta hear him grumbling. Like I see, like he's like thinking of his own response. He goes, "I am a Codinian, but my queen's recent actions I've not been able to support as an arbiter, and I'm an arbiter first."
I'm sorry, Beck.
But you see, he waves it off and goes, no. And I've been rude. Today we're here to celebrate, as Coisir said. And even if I'm not approved of all of your actions, you've done good here. You can see him raise his own mug. Let's see who could tell the best story. Let's see who can captivate the crowd. And just so you know, that they love us here. And you see him take a little chug of his beer.
I have an interesting idea, and I want to ask about it something first, because I feel like I might be stepping on somebody's toes. I was thinking of doing a deception, just because I think it's funny, and that's one of my highest bonuses, to like just fully lie to these people about the existence of a terrifying monster. Like give them all the gritty, gory details about the gnashing teeth and the horrifying effects that it can have on both your mind and the world around it. Tell of a terrifying demonic creature, and then you said it was going to be 2 rolls, right?
Yep.
So I want to do deception and then intimidation.
Yeah, go for it.
To like finish off the story, be like. Finish off with like a truly horrifying like end to the story, and then at that moment reveal to people that none of it was true.
So,
but
yeah.
I do all technically mechanically it would be better for me to do deception and diplomacy, but I think it's funnier this way. But that doesn't stop anybody else from doing it. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it.
Tell us a little bit about your monster.
All right, I'm going to tell about the tale of a truly fearsome demon, one that corrupts the very land upon which it steps. Everywhere it goes, everywhere it moves, it doesn't even have to do anything to you. Simply by being in the area, it injects a fiendish influence into the ground beneath it, turning creatures in plants, animals, including the speaking folk, looking at all the various crowd people, corrupting them, their bodies and their minds, turning them into monsters as well. Its influence spreads wherever it goes, causing it to leach into the water, the air, and the sea. I mean, the land, the sea, and the air. Those are three different things. It doesn't have a coherent form. It is constantly changing, shifting, moving like a liquid shadow, shuffling its way through the air. But you can be quite assured when it needs to, it has exactly what it needs to spread its influence. Long, sharp claws, gnashing teeth, powerful, muscular arms, legs, tentacles, whatever it needs in that very moment is what it has. Constantly shifting in order to spread its influence wherever it goes.
Wherever goes your first roll.
Hey,
Man.
How does Will bring it home? You see the crowd is rapidly paying attention. Like some are like just leaning in, some are like kind of like huddling closer together. Others, like you see like a little bit of a panic across their face, but still rapidly like this. You can hear a pin drop in this area around you.
I would like to finish off the story. Like I said, I was going to finish off the story using intimidation to like sort of like have a last final like big scare, and then that moment revealed that the whole thing was a lie the whole time. Because I'm not telling this like it's a story. I'm telling it like it's a thing that I've seen. But I think Will is gonna say the truly terrifying thing about this creature is that you might not even know it's around you. Like I said, it shifts its shape into whatever it needs to be in the moment, and it corrupts the minds of those who see it, so that those who have even witnessed its presence often forget it was even there, so that it can spread its sickness even further. You might have even seen it around you, somewhere, even in this very competition. Here at the festival, there are those who have said that they've seen such a thing lurking around wherever in the shadows, underneath the buildings, hiding wherever it can in order to corrupt the minds and bodies of those around it. And I would like to finish off with a huge growl and cast Bullhorn so that it's insanely loud to startle everybody.
Definitely.
The only warning that you would have before it pounces upon you is it's terrifying. And then before I even finish the sentence, I'm just gonna cast Bullhorn on myself and just roar at the people. So yeah, intimidation. Believe in myself. Go. Hey, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I could re-roll it. I'm gonna save it. That's good enough.
Perfect. You see the crowd reacting with like panic as that magically amplified growl goes through. Some like start to run, others cover their ears, others just look in abject terror.
A brief shadow falls over the whole room, and then I start laughing. Wow. I'm just kidding, y'all. I made that entire thing up. I've never heard of such a creature.
You see the crowd.
As far as I'm aware, no such monster exists. Have a wonderful evening, y'all.
The crowd at first looks confused, and you see them start picking on each other for those who look like they look a little bit more terrified than the rest. Like I like doing that little push. You're like, "Oh, you were scared. I knew it was a joke the whole time." Type face. But yeah, you've gone through some pretty high benchmark because we're adding these two scores together. That is a 60. That people would have to be.
I'm a gamer. I do this. This is the thing that, like, the only thing that Will was good at in the church was telling the stories of the of the teachings of Hikari.
So Mockery's gonna come up next and immediately say to the crowd,
Hello, I'm Mockery. Just to reiterate, what he said was not a true story, and I'm not the thing he was talking about. Today, I'm going to tell you a story of a hero, once a part of a band of heroes, and at the end of this story, I'll tell you his name. But first, let's start with some history. He was born to a clan of warriors who were beholden to their own honor, and he had watched that clan be taken from him. And for a time, a long time, he thought they were all gone, that his people were killed by a terrible god of blood, that there were none left, and he was all that remained of their memory. With a great weapon and a fury, he carved a bloody path to show that his people would not be forgotten. He joined a band of heroes looking to fight back the infernal invasion for 1,000 years past. You may have heard of some of his exploits. He won many games just like this. He won a tournament too. With his help, gave that very crew their name.
I want to start off with diplomacy, kind of building up and hyping up this person at first.
Yeah, go for it.
32.
Solid. Yeah, you see the crowd is like listening, rapt, like eyes, like kind of like, especially when you broke it up. Oh, when you opened with a joke too about being an infernal creature, you see some laugh, some like we're looking at you suspiciously, and then broke into laughter. But they are definitely kind of keenly listening to what you have to say, kind of leaning in and seeing where you'll go.
This bloody butcher, be it for the sake of the world or the sake of his clan, lost to him then, began to slay monsters. He slew dragons. He slew vampires. He traveled the world itself. Everywhere he went, he slew more and more. This barbarian took from the world these great terrors. He even sought to slay Issei, who had brought the infernal invasion, who had abandoned the infernals too, and sought to corrupt the world, sought to do terrible, terrible things. And when Issei himself sent the mother of monsters to this butcher, he butchered her. And when he sent the dreaded Tarask, a beast unlike anything else, this man beheaded it. Yes, you may have heard of him actually. For he is not a man anymore. Upon his travels, he became a legend, a hero. He even brought back his own clan, seized back from the jaws of that mechanist we all know has a bounty on his head now. He saved them. And some view it as a noble sacrifice that corrupted him over time, or others see it as him rightfully taking his place. But this man became a god too. Rogue of fear and fury, the infernal butcherer.
And with that, intimidation.
Go for it. So you see the crowd. This is a crowd that's not primed as much to the infernal gods, but you do see them, like some standing pure in awe of the accomplishments, others even giving a small cheer, especially as the defeats of Issei, the Tarask especially, were mentioned, and kind of all of those feats, and you do see the crowd erupts. Not quite as loud as Will's cheers, especially with some of the infernal mentions, but you do see that they are all entranced and engaged with the story you're told.
And Mockery will point to the librarian amongst these cheers and just say,
You'll already find that in the history books.
and with that, he'll bow and take a leave.
Nice.
You see, she goes, that was mostly accurate. One discrepancy. Rog didn't fight in the tournament. He joined with the Gavels directly after that, but very good.
Oh, I knew I was going to get called out for that after I said,
Oh,
wait, no, he
no.
wasn't. Oh, no. But it makes sense for Mockery to believe him. Yeah, he was there even then.
Yeah.
And to reiterate, Rog was Belric's previous character.
Yeah.
Who
Oh,
Balric
God.
truly hates. So I'm like very excited about this while hating it. That was good.
For some Mockery, you end up with a 56 point total.
I'll take it.
All right.
Hard to follow up Will, but damn, did I.
You got very close.
The whole crew is competing in this. G, Belric, Wisteria. Who wants to go next?
I think G will just go next because I'm expecting him to give the worst sermon ever. So he goes up there with his tiny book of Nar-related stories, heroes that Nar has blessed, and he said, some of you, of course, you may have heard of this before, and feel free to follow along and even say the lines with me. And those of you who are from outside of Ontario, you'll get a kick out of this. And he then opens it up and then starts speaking in a monotone. Once upon a time, there was a hero. And so this is just full morality tale. So he's going to roll diplomacy.
All right.
Yep. Okay, I'm glad.
You see some of the faithful, going through, it kind of reciting along, almost like the Catholic, peace be with you, as with you type things. But you do see, unfortunately, the temperature kind of cooled down a little bit, or not the temperature, the hype died down a little bit. But you do get some of the faithful kind of reading along and going, these are Nar's stories, and the fire should be heard.
Mockery's gonna heckle G and just go,
Where's Nar's fire?
Don't worry, it's coming up in 2 paragraphs. And then when he's done, he closes the book. He waits for the thunderous applause, and then when it doesn't arrive, says, "Okay, thank you," and then leaves sweating, saying under his breath, "I should stick to my strengths."
You get a smattering of applause. You do get a lean goes, that was faithfully recounted. Yes. Yes. It goes. So G, you are at 31 total for the crowd appreciation points. Wisteria, Belric, do you guys want to go next, or do you want me to have Barrick go next?
I can go next.
All right.
This is the tale of the man known as Tears of Fear Wyvern Star. He lived in a faraway land and was a half-elf traveling the land with his human mother. They settled in a small town, mostly with humans, who were suspicious of elves, but they had a skill with alchemy, and their wares were much appreciated there. One day, while wandering the streets, Tears of Fear saw a young woman who was on the side of the road begging, but unlike the other beggars in town, nobody even seemed to notice her. In fact, he came to find out that she was cursed to be ignored by everyone there, but he could see her for some reason. He invited the woman, whose name is Nara, to work at their shop, and she also had a good skill with alchemy. Over the years, they worked well together, eventually fell in love. Then one day, Tears of Fear left to get supplies from a nearby town. And a few days later, when he came back, there was a riot, and everybody was trying to call for Tears of Fear's arrest and execution. he was rushed into a trial where he found out the details that apparently a wizard had come into town, also noticed Nara, and dispelled the curse on her, which brought back the memory to everyone in the town of what had happened. That she was in fact the governor's daughter. And they all believe that Tears of Fear, being a strange elf from far away, had placed this curse so that he could have her for himself. Nara was at her father's home and they weren't allowed to see each other. The trial was a sham, and Tears of Fear was being marched up for his execution. Just before the hangman put the noose around his neck, a deep voice boomed from the sky, and everyone fled in terror. It was a dark power called Modologus that said, "By contract, Tears of Fear, I grant you my power." And Tears of Fear felt magical energy rushing through him, but he could only wonder at what cost. He rushed to the governor's mansion, where he found Nara lying on the ground, unresponsive. Nearby, there were candles, drawings, and a book detailing dark rituals of summoning the power of Modologus. Reviewing the notes, Tears of Fear realized that Nara had sacrificed her soul to this eldritch being in an effort to free the man that she loved, who had given her another chance at life. But Tears of Fear was not done yet. Despite having this contract with Modologus, he set out to find a way to restore Nara's soul. He met up with several other people with similar powers. They traveled the land, defeating all sorts of monsters and helping various nations know peace and safety, before finally all of them confronted Modologus together, who was using Nara's soul as many others he collected to try to gain power to take over their area of the world. With their united power, they were able to defeat Modologus, take Nara's soul back, and return her to life. And so I think with all the curses and stuff, I think occultism might be a good fit for one of the roles, and then I can do diplomacy for another one, just to kind of tie into the emotions of the crowd, maybe.
Definitely. So if you do occultism outside of the charisma skills, it will have a penalty. So it'll have a -3 circumstance penalty.
That's fine. You said -2?
3.
3? Okay. All right, and then diplomacy.
It's respectable. You get like a good, like, kind of like you see like the crowd kind of going like kind of oohing and awing, especially at points like when they hear about Nara's soul being lost. You see kind of the people getting down and kind of like a little bit of fear of this. And you can definitely tell a lot of the Atarians are assuming infernal magic on this side, especially being primed with Will's demon talk earlier, stealing away Nara's soul. But then you do see some clapter, some uplifting as you talk about how the group banded together, were able to fall back and restore her back in. And you see some good clapping in there, not quite as loud as Will's or Democracy's, but definitely a tale well received, and a little bit more than the polite clapping that Jeet got from the faithful.
Yeah, that was my first D&D character. So.
Oh, nice.
Heck yeah.
Barrick, do you want to go or do you want Barrick to go?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get
Every
this
time
over
you
with
said that
here.
twice now, and it's every time I think you're about to say, "Do you want Bear to go?"
That might be
Just
better.
throw Bear up on stage.
That might be better.
He's got a cat. That may go well.
Elric comes up and he's drunk. He's a dwarf. And he takes the mic, or he just starts kind of walking around and talking. The dwarf had been drinking at the pub all night. It's last call. When he stands up to leave, he falls flat on his face. Hey, the dwarf moans. tries to stand up one more time, to no avail. Again, he falls flat on his face. Aye! Dwarf moans. He figures he'll crawl outside, get some fresh air, and that'll sober him up, and he can walk home. Once outside, he tries to stand up. Sure enough, dwarf falls flat on his face. Aye! Dwarf moans. The dwarf decides to crawl 4 blocks back to his home. He arrives at the door. Sure enough, he tries to stand up. The dwarf falls flat on his face. Aye! The dwarf moans. Crawls into his house, up the stairs, and into his bedroom. He manages to pull himself into his bed, and the dwarf falls peacefully to sleep. He awakens the next morning to his angry dwarven wife standing over him. And she's shouting, "You've been out drinking again!" He goes, "What? How do you know that?" he asks. And she says, "You left your wheelchair there at the pub again."
Oh
Nice.
no!
What charisma
Nice.
skills is Beric making for this role?
I don't know. That's my Irishman joke. I whatever you think I should roll, I'll roll.
Performance or diplomacy would be good for this one.
All right.
I hadn't heard that one before, so that was
That's a good
Yeah, me
one.
neither,
Yeah.
man.
for Beric. That's a solid roll. Give us one
We'll
more.
take it. One more, you said?
Your choice between performance and diplomacy. You can mix it up if you'd like to, or do another performance as well.
Let's mix it up.
Yeah, so you get like a little less applause, but you do get a lot of laughter from these ones. Like you hear the people who are like listening like very closely, especially as the dwarf moaned and it fell each time. And you see as they get to the end of the wheelchair, you get people laughing up and kind of like slapping on some backs. Not beating the applause of some that have come before, but the joke was well received.
I just have to mention that one mercenary band underneath Thrax are probably hating him right
Yeah,
now.
I know. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of that.
I know. I was like, is
I
this
hate the
too...
dwarf moans.
This might trigger somebody, but you know,
No,
it's medieval.
the fallen sun. You haven't seen. Oh, you only saw one fallen sun. And that was with the Fukana squad. But you see the crowd kind of react. It definitely laughs, and you see kind of striding up on the stage, last to go, kind of his silver armor gleaming. You see Beric Anderson address the crowd, and you hear him like call out in this booming voice, smile upon his face as he kind of sees this crowd in front of him, and he goes, "I am Beric Anderson, leader of Squad 7 of the High Arbiters. And I come with you today a tale that is completely true. A tale about what is happening right now, right here, with the people of Eteria. Because I came into this lands when it was truly in chaos. The Emperor was missing, and the Civil War had not yet taken blow, but it was surely brewing. I came when hope was lost. And I came along with Squad 7. We marched into this land with our heads held high, following the will of our High Arbiter. We came to help. Because the Emperor was missing. The eternal Emperor, Emperor Terror, who has lived longer than civilizations have been around, who formed this empire with his own 2 hands. The man that was father to all within Eteria, who without this effort he undertook, there would be no eternal empire. He was gone. He had not become reincarnated. He did not re-enter the cycle. He was gone. And some assumed that the enemies of Eteria had taken him. Some assumed that he was dead and no longer bore the gift of true reincarnation, but all feared his loss. Hope was lost. And you see he's going to do an intimidation on this one. It's a little mid, so you see like the crowd is kind of like a little bit probably too too near to right now. It's one of those it's a little recent, so people are like definitely a little shaken with this. But you see him switch
one
through.
person in the crowd just goes, "We're trying to drink to forget."
Did you see him nodding?
Real, bro.
You're right, because that was not the end of the tale. Because while hope may have been lost, we were there. We marched through the deserts of Eteria, the sun burning at our backs. We looked high and low for any sign of the Emperor. And we found him. We found that when the Emperor, whoever had done this tragic injustice, had twisted the Emperor's reincarnation so he would not awaken, he twisted the minds of the Imperial Guards. And you all know the Imperial Guards. Any true Etarian would. The Imperial Guards are the finest of Etarians, the best warriors, mages, thieves, spies, the best of the best. They are the ones who guard the Emperor, lead his armies, and do anything that requires the best of Eteria. And we had found that two of these men, two of these vaunted heroes, had minds that had been twisted by a terrorist disappearance, had taken Eteria and tried to hide him, trying to fulfill their duty, even though their minds were not exactly with them. So I, in Squad 7, I rode upon my horse, Coco. If you saw her in the finals, this gleaming black mare, we rode to find and confront these Imperial Guards. And I know you've seen us in these fights, and I know you've seen what Squad 7 and I can do when we have one purpose, one direction. But let me say that if it was only by the blessing of them, or the blessing and the curse of them, their minds being twisted, we were able to find and fight these two Imperial Guards, taking them down while sparing their lives so we could rescue Emperor Ater. And while he has not reawoken, we have brought his body back. And I've said before that hope was lost. With his body being found, hope has been found yet again. By Squad 7, by the High Arbiters, and our mission to bring order and peace to Cassia. He's going to give his last diplomacy check. So he gets like a polite applause on that side, not to the same raucous levels of mockery and will, but he gets like a polite little smattering there, especially with the Emperor being brought back. But Will, you see at the end of this, head librarian Oline kind of like looks through and jots a little bit on her notepad. She goes, "Well, Will, your story about this thing that never was has brought joy, fear, and suspense to the crowd." And you see her kind of reach into a pouch and bring out a Coisirian nectar. And she goes, "To the victor goes the spoils."
Will casts Bullhorn once again. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. And keep your eyes on the shadows tonight.
Nice.
Mockery's gonna go up to Barrick and just go,
Never thought I'd see the day a crowd would applaud more for me than for you. And while you told tales of Squad 7, heroes in this land, I spoke of the infernal gods. I think we both need a drink for much different reasons, my friend.
Oh no.
You see him like his face twisted for a moment, and he just nods and goes, "A quiet drink." He definitely kind of goes off with you, and Will, you are able to get your Coisirian nectar. But before the group passes, you do see head librarian Oline kind of tap Wisteria on the shoulder and goes, "If you have a moment, I'd like to speak with you."
Of course.
She kind of leads you away a little bit deeper into the Coliseum, away from the crowds and away from the noise of this raucous celebration. And she looks at you and kind of see her bee eyes kind of like blinking slowly, and her wings even flutter a bit as she kind of steadies herself for what she has to ask you, but she looks at you and goes, Wisteria, you have been a good apprentice to the Seekers. We have a task to ask of you, and it's not one that I would typically ask of someone so new to our organization. But you all have held yourselves to gavels, have held yourselves well in this tournament, and I think you may be well suited to the task. And it's a bit of a, I wouldn't say shameful secret of the library, but it's it's a bit of a nasty bit of history.
At the word secret, Wisteria visibly perks up and seems excited.
You guys see her, she notices, goes, I thought you may enjoy that. In our library in Kata, we had, I'll lay it on the table. We had brought a spirit into our employ. The spirit of the prophetess Sierra. Her mortal body had been taken from her, cursed by the goddess Power, and her mind had been driven insane by the infernal god, Shinzo. She was a prophetess in the era of the Gavels, one who could utilize Power's power to be able to tell futures. But she betrayed both Power and then betrayed Shinzo, and both gods took their price. With the Sierra eventually winding up little more than a soulless, broken spirit that still was forced to walk the mortal plane of Coisir, able to still predict the future, but incapable of herself even realizing what was a true prediction and what was lies cursed upon her by Shinzo, the god of chaos and deception. We kept her in the library and documented every prediction, every prophecy that came out of her mouth, looking to see if we could find a percentage or find a formula or divining way to see which ones were true, which ones were false, and act on the ones we could think that were true without any liabilities. And for nearly a millennia, that has worked well for us. She could not pass the rest, and we found a use. But with the fall of Kata, and our scouts have not been able to tell us whether this was in league with the giant King Braka, or if the recusants just took advantage. But the recusants, the foes of the gods, these mortals who've turned their backs on the divine, have captured the spirit and brought her to Mechas. We need you to go and document what has happened, exactly how and why she was taken, and bring her back to one of our libraries, if you are able.
Absolutely. I have a few questions. Before her soul or her mind was broken by Paua and Shinzo, when she was a prophetess in full strength, were all of her predictions confirmed true, and it's only now with Shinzo's interference that some have become false?
That's a very astute question. From our knowledge, most of her prophecies were proven true. And most is a powerful way to say it. Because even the goddess Power, the goddess of prophets herself, not all of her predictions bear out as she sees them. Sierra was a rare power, especially upon a mortal, to have her predictions mostly come true.
Do you suspect she would be willing to return? I mean, I'll get her back either way, but if she was more of a unhappy with the arrangement at the library, that might prove some challenges that I'll need to work around in order to accomplish this.
You see, kind of, she pauses, and you see kind of like her bee head like tilt back and forth, and she kind of goes, "That is a fair question. I do not know if she was happy or unhappy with the arrangement. She almost seemed detached from reality, really only knowing her suffering and the visions that were forced upon her. She would speak the visions through no choice of her own, and we would just catalog. We've tried to communicate with her, but she really only spoke to us in future, or in prophecies of things yet to come. So I cannot say for sure if she'd be willing, or even if she's able to really truly and aware of her surroundings enough to form true thought."
It's good to know. And obviously, Wisteria's writing all this down hurriedly as it's being spoken to her.
You've got a whisper.
Yeah. Right. So Whisper's taking care of it, but the gavel has a lot of responsibilities, and also a lot of what we do next will depend on the tournament. But regardless of what happens, I will make sure this gets done. I will pull the strings that I'm able to pull to make sure that the gavel is oriented towards this goal, and that I can promise you that Sierra will be returned.
You see, she nods and smiles and she goes, "And no, you won't be uncompensated for your efforts. We know that adventuring is a hard thing to do. Unfortunately, the library is not usually a revenue generator, but we can spare 1,000 gold. But the big thing that we can give is we'll give you access to our libraries, where you get the chance to build a skill that you may not have had, or enhance the skill that you already have. In the mechanical terms, you get 1,000 gold, and you'll get a chance to learn a new skill, or bring a skill up in rank, and within the level ranks you have. So you can go like to legendary or something. You can still stay at level ranks, but you get a free boost to that.
Your rewards are appreciated. Being able to work with the Seekers is reward enough for me. The one other thing I wanted to ask you about, unrelated to that, has Teach ever competed in any of these games?
And she kind of see like she looks like, and you could actually tell, no insight or no sense motive roll necessary. Like, I think Coisir told you that Aline was here due to Noticia not being able to be at this peace summit. But Aline did not really look at home during these celebrations at all. And she goes, "Not so much compete. For his usual games, Noticia does not really participate, but he often likes to put games in his peace summits. And with that, we have to... We all believe in both the gods, a vision for a peaceful Coisir, and that's why I do what I can to support his games. Because while they may seem to be tomfoolery and wasted effort, we have seen them bring people together. They've bridged the gap where Noticia's words of wisdom sometimes fall flat. That's why the two gods working in concert have been able to do what some consider impossible."
Yeah, I can't say I understand why these games seem to have such a powerful effect, but you can't argue with results, and so I have adapted my plans accordingly. Although certainly I think they would be more enjoyable if there were some more, let's say, intellectual challenges here. I was in a few different organizations back in Mokulin where we played different games of mind and puzzle solving, and I think some of those things would be welcome here.
You see Aline nods and goes, "If our goddess was part of the planning, as she usually is, there would be more of that. Coisir, without his friend, often does what he likes.
What could keep them apart for so long? Everything I've heard about their friendship seems like she would love to be here.
I'm not sure. I thought they may have told you this, but I may not have. This is another secret for you. Noticia is in the astral planes at the moment, trying to bring peace between the god Zexus of Psyche and the goddess Power of Prophecy. Both wish to claim the astral realm as their own.
Oh, Zexus. That's the people serving him are competing in this tournament. Is that right? Anything you can tell me about them?
You kind of see her shake her head. She goes, "They are the children of Mialo. I know the intellectual lines between a cult and a religion is murky and hard to truly point out, but I would surely call them a cult. Zexus and the children prey on those who don't have strong connections to their family, their community, to the people around them, and offer them oneness. It's disconcerting, especially since we feel that Zexus may benefit from linking all of these people under his own psyche."
What do you mean oneness?
We haven't had a chance to examine a subject from them, but even seeing them fight at the tournament and hearing the rumors, they are said to be a part of the one, the all, and the only. And they say that they link their minds, their consciousness, and can see and hear and feel what others linked to them can. So they're never truly alone.
Siri kind of like pauses for a second and says, like, I mean, the idea of like being able to know truly the entire mind of another and share one's mind with others in a way that transcends the limitations of language seems like it can be a useful skill if carefully mastered.
There's wisdom in that. There's aspects of that, the transfer of knowledge between two individuals, more powerful than anything. But where I fear the danger comes in is when they cease to be individuals and all blur into one. Because then it's just one mass of collected minds. And do they control who controls said mass?
I'll keep my eye out for them, and if I am able to maybe get a subject from this group for the Seekers to study, I think there's a lot we can learn there.
That would be greatly appreciated. But I fear I've kept you too long. Coisir has more events planned for his day. Go and enjoy the revelry as much as you can.
I'll do my best, as you seem to be as well. And she kind of nods her head and
You get like a solemn nod from her on that side, like doing our best. And you are able to rejoin the crew. There's one game or one major game left within the Coliseum that the group could join in, the straight up drinking competition.
Mockery drug Beric there for his quote unquote drink.
You see Beric, he goes, I thought we were having one quiet drink.
I mean, you can do it quietly.
And you see,
I might only be able to hold one right now.
Trying to goad them into joining it.
You see, like, he's huffing, but you see kind of walking up, especially as you drag over Barrick, you see this giant catfolk with like an enormous belly. Olo from Squad 7 walk over. And one thing you notice about him a little bit different than usual, he has a chain with a holy symbol at the end of it, kind of adorning his neck now, but you do see it as like the holy mug. It looks like he's been ordained into Coisir's followers. You see Olo walk up and goes, "Boss, Squad 7, are you competing? Are you drinking?" You guys see like a small, like just exasperated nod from Barrick. And then Olo looks at the rest of Squad 7.
The rest of Squad 7 or the rest of the Gavels?
Oh, sorry, the rest of the Gavels, yeah.
Okay, I was like,
There we go, yeah.
All right,
Why
I
did
was.
they say anything to me? Why is-
Margaret nod and looks at everyone else.
I say we all join in. A nice round of finishers.
I thought I think that was in game. I was in character too.
Can I find that elven ranger from Pandemonium? I want her in this too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're able to find her as well. You're able to find, what is her name? I'm blanking on her name right now. Oh yeah, Alira. Yeah, you're able to find Alira. You see Alira. Dark, you find her, and you didn't really get to see this at the feast. Maybe she was a little bit more polite than Dark, but you do see she has a tiger next to her. You see the tiger is like a little tipsy itself. It is like kind of like stumbling around. But Alira would definitely join if invited. And you got Olo, the catfolk drunken monk, who he would boast to. He goes, "My friends, Coisir this day has anointed me as a cleric of Coisir." And you kind of see him like waving his holy symbol around. He goes, he kind of like a point to you, Jeet, like, we're saved. He goes, "I've been blessed by the gods with divine magic. Today I am drinking."
Oh my god, I wasn't planning on drinking, but after that, Jeet now has to enter the competition, and he's fuming with like actual smoke.
Your god, my god, yeah. Even.
Let's get all of Squad 7 and all of the renegades. Maybe not the children of Mialo. They're creeping me out over there. Let us all drink.
Yeah, and
And-
that's one of the things, you don't see the children of Mialo like at all. You haven't seen them all day. Like through any of the drinking games, through any of you guys wandering this like revelry, you've not seen them. You actually haven't seen them since the sands of the tournament the night before.
What about I'm kind of tempted to invite either Beshnik or Ostin from our team.
Drag him along.
You
It's
see,
now-
Austin is like he's been kind of like he's been like definitely like celebrating and talking to people, but he hasn't like joined the adventurers games. But he goes, "Oh, I can compete. That would be amazing. Okay, I'm there.
Let's
there."
get Austin.
You see him
I
chug
like
his
him.
drink and like join in the fray.
Yeah.
What's the name of the chef?
Wilson.
Boro?
Boro, yeah.
Oh no, shit! That's who I wanted. Boro. Dang. All right. Oh,
Now we're
no.
getting both.
Let's live it at Boro. So we've got Boro, Austin. We've got Alira, Barrick, Olo, and I think that's everybody, right? For outside of the group competing.
Beshnik, get your ass over here. Bear, you bear.
Get Beshnik in here. We got to.
Beshnik goes, "I'm bearing the standard. All right. You see him drop the he puts the standard into the sands, and he joins in, and that will be our drinking crew. Hold on, I'll be right back, and we will get into that. This is going to be a series of. This is just straight drinking, so a series of fortitude saves to see who can last in the longest. When you fail the save, you are out. So I'll be right back, though.
Shit. Well, I guess it was good we got more faction members, Ostin and Boro, instead of just one of them. And Beshnet.
Yeah, I was just thinking, this is like absolutely not Will's style, but he's actually like pretty good at it.
He's kind of thriving, dude.
No, I mean just specifically the drinking game. Like,
Yeah.
I pulled up the party sheet. Will's like, just weirdly enough, the animals are better than all of us at fortitude saves. Like bear, the highest in all of the gavel is bear, hyena, and red in that order.
Wait, the bird?
Yes, the bird has a higher fortitude save than all of us.
That doesn't make
It's
sense.
a dwarven bird. What actually?
Dwarven eagle, I guess. I don't know.
Dwarven bird.
It's a dwarven bird. Yeah, it belonged to a dwarf. And that
I don't know.
can't on our bear.
It's grief.
Yeah. After that, Will is like tied for second. I was like surprised.
Ow.
At least when it comes to fortitude saves.
What was the best fortitude save?
Second highest. The
Okay.
highest is out of all of us, Belric. But
Well, that makes sense to the dwarf.
yeah.
I gotta say, I don't know how I've been coasting with keeping the lore consistent with. Yeah, mockery drinks. +1 constitution.
So, you see this table. This is where the Coisir himself is running. You see kind of that same Coisirian absinthe that you drank right before the race, where you just had to do one jug of that before going, and you see rows upon rows of it on the table. And Coisir goes, "All right, laddie, this is one of my favorite games. This one, you don't have to think too much. You just have to have a stirring stomach. Basically, you drink, and then you drink, and then you drink, and you drink until you can't drink no more. So, if you get too loopy, we'll say, unfortunately, I have to pull you out. But if you keep going through and keep holding your stomach strong, you get a chance to get some more of my own nectar." It looks like you brought a gaggle of a crowd with you.
I gotta imagine there's like 100 people at this thing.
I'm so excited for Beshnik to drink as much as he possibly can.
What's best to win this? Like, I told you you didn't want me doing this.
He's always so uptight and on guard, and
He's gonna be 40% alcohol.
he's gonna die.
He won't die, but it'll be very hard for him.
I've brought the funnel.
The DC for this is 21.
Okay.
So if you get a 21 or above, you get to keep drinking. Below 20 or below, you're pushed out of the competition. So we get all my NPCs open. All right, actually, you guys can roll the. Somebody call out one of the followers. You get to roll between Ostin, Boro, or Beshnet. Call it out.
I'll roll
I
for
want to roll best.
No, you can go. I'll take Ostin then.
I got Boro.
Get him.
Let's see, what's his for the? Oh no!
It is level based, so
I forgot this little stance he's got in his picture where he's just.
He's a very proud little kobold.
Right. Rolling for Beshnet.
All right. Yeah, everybody give me a fortitude save. Coisir begins passing out the Coisirian absinthe, seeing who can last within. So we see, unfortunately, our dwarf and our gnoll are out, not able to hold their liquor today, along with Bulgaria. Oh, and Will.
Oh my god!
I saved my hero point.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
it's
I'm gonna hero point as well.
Oh my
Austin,
goodness!
Not enough.
Ashton is somehow still in.
I should outdrank that dwarf.
The three biggest, like the ones you expect to hold their liquor, went out, but the followers went in. Mockery chugs it, immediately face plants into the table, out
It's-
like a light next
It's
to
because y'all have been drinking all day. The rest of us have been pacing ourselves.
Yeah.
This is, I think this is.
Mockery was drinking at every chance. I imagine Belric was doing the same. You
Yeah.
guys hit that last one and just like it's a little too fast and have to bow out. He goes, "Go see it." Oh, all right, then just stop. Just set it off over there for a second. Somebody bring them some water. And let me get the NPCs in. So Lyra first. She chugs that like a champ.
Yeah.
Olo! Yeah, you see Olo did like the same shit Belric and Mockery. He's been drinking all day since his new divine coronation. And you see like he drinks another one and he goes, you see Coisir go, that's not a good look for your first day, but
Yeah. Take away his divine powers. Serve them.
Isn't this anathema to him?
so let's get started. Coisir, as long as you are a fun drunk, don't bully people, and don't spill your liquor or cause like havoc, you're pretty much fine with them. Or intentionally.
She doesn't like this one bit.
Sorry, that takeaway is divine powers. Remind me of this is a wild one. Shark Boy and Llama go like, send him to the principal and get him expelled. If anyone knows that.
Oh, and I forgot Barrick is in this one too. Barrick, he chugs his drink very quietly. Like you see, he's still a little sore from his loss, so he just kind of chugs it down and goes, "Another." So
Will is looking so smug with himself. He's looked just like, yes.
I think this is the only
I
drink
like
with
the
strange
aroma on
out
this
of it.
one.
So we've got Will, Jeet, Beshnit somehow, and Osted, along with Alira and Barrick.
Are these drinks proportional to body size?
They are not. You
Oh,
see,
God.
like, Coisir is a halfling himself, and his mug is like human size. He's drinking like the Oktoberfest style mugs with his little halfling self.
Okay,
Right.
that makes sense. It's impressive, but he's still got a drink. Beshnit, I imagine it like he's a little kobold. The mug's as big as him. He just drank his weight in liquor.
I mean, Beshnit has reasons to drink.
Oh boy.
Really? Tegan, can you have an inspiration for that?
Can we give you a hero point?
These two hopefully won't need a hero point. But we've got we got 4 gavels and shit. So everybody give us another round of fortitude saves. DC 21.
Yikes.
It hit best. And Austin.
To be fair, they survived the first round. We
I
didn't.
feel like they both got a little cocky. You see Beshnit kind of like perking up, goes, "Yes, typically I don't indulge, but this gavels." And he takes like a big drink and he just like passes the fuck out.
Everyone
I believe in myself.
He could be
Yeah.
drunk rather.
Oh.
That's appropriate. All right.
Yeah. Get a hero point?
Used it.
I already used it. I used it in the last round.
All right.
Will drinks it like the absolute fanciest. That like, yes, and then falls down straight, like stiff as a bowl.
That was very good.
Oh, Jeet's in it too. I thought, yeah. So right now you see Will fall out, the rest of the gavels fall out. This is Jeet versus Alira from the Adamantium Renegades, brought to you by Belnu, and then Barrick Anderson, leader of Squad 7.
Is that shithead that I invited?
Yeah, no, the
You
elf
know
out
that,
answer
yeah.
again. I'm sorry.
Can I
Sweet.
do anything to distract her?
Wait, so it's G and then like two people who are invited by two members of the gavel.
Yeah,
Yep.
except Olin was the one that I had that part of this competition.
All right, Gene. I don't need you to spell it out like that.
Meanwhile,
How are
like
you?
G, who doesn't drink as much, is he's on the edge. He's like, this either makes it or breaks it. All right, here we go.
Go for it. Alira is like putting down like
Oh my god.
Oh no!
Fix it immediately.
Do we have a group hero point?
This girl
Oh wait, I do.
drink, dude.
I have a personal hero point.
I don't know. I don't think we can use a group.
But
We're closing on time. I say use it or lose it.
you got your
Okay.
hit point, we use it.
If we can use it today, we gotta use it.
for the story's sake, I kind of don't want to use it, but it would be lovely if it rerolls into a nat one again. So I'm gonna use it.
Go for it. A little better, but yeah, it's still out. You see Alira, like she's swaying. Barrick and Mocker, you see Barrick. Barrick is like a little like he's a personable guy, but he's like a little uptight. Typically, he's definitely like a type A. Like if he like Wisteria could like meet like out, like if they were on the same team, they probably would get along very well. He's just a little bit more charismatic. He's all about like strategy and efficiency for his team. He is like singing Codinian drinking songs right now. He's like the old like guard barracks from Vesnon. You see him going, "Oh, the blue falcon flies so high, and the drinks go sound so deep." And he is swaying and enjoying his life. Where Alira is definitely drunk, but she goes, "We have way better stuff." And where am I from? Oh yeah, the Orient Forest.
Where am I from? The forest.
All right, we'll do one last roll just to see who wins between these two. And
We let the grapes ferment on the vine.
Yeah, Lyra is fucking
Ooh, okay, you know what? This is actually really good for Beldrick's honor. The fact that he only lost to the best drinker in the entire
Twice in a row, yeah. I'm like, all right, she's a champ, dude. I'm kind of like, I don't want love to be in the air all the time, but I'm like, this chick is turning Belric on. Holy cow.
You see her down it, and then Barrick downs it, and like Barrick, like he almost forgets he's in a drinking competition. Like, he downs it. He's not too drunk, but you see like people started to sing his song with him, and he walked completely away from the competition just to go sing his song with the people that are singing. And you see Alira is able to take home the win and get Ecosirian nectar. And you see kind of like actually, what does the Gavels do for the rest of the night? Like, it's definitely like this is a day full of like celebration, revelry. You see a lot of the different squads, like Squad 7, the Adamantium Renegades, even some of the ones that were defeated earlier, kind of coming out and just really like living it up with Coisir, the god of celebration, and other people around. It's just one of those like kind of like those perfect party nights. Everybody's able to have some fun. There's no drama. It's just one of those nights that just you'll look back to fondly. Before we wrap up for today, what does the rest of the crew do?
I know what I'm gonna do with mockery, and it hurts my being, but I think it's best if I do that last.
Okay. I think Will is just, especially when he's been drinking, he's a bit of a flirt. So he's just making friends. That's it. Nothing special. Nothing new. Nothing strategic, I guess. Just trying to meet people, I guess.
And I'll ask Will, is he making friends like in I'm not sure how Will would go with this. Because he likes making friends, a little bit of a flirt. Are you staying like in the adventurous side with the Coliseum making friends? Or would you go back into the crowd of people who may be a little bit more easily impressed and make friends there?
Good question. I think he would probably just stick to who's nearby, who's around, which would be the people like the other
Okay.
adventurers and whatnot. I don't even know who he would be hanging out with, really. Whoever seems receptive, definitely not the creepy people.
Yeah, luckily you haven't seen hide or hair of them today. They're probably in their tents doing whatever they do.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it would just be hanging out with maybe Squad 7? Or... Yeah, that's the ones he would know the best, I guess.
Yeah, you would know Squad 7, and like, Olo's around, Drick is around as well. Akaro is there, Akaro doesn't speak, but Barracks, and even Barrack is having a good time, just singing bawdy drinking songs with his newfound friends. Oh, and I think Will was at least pretty interested in their druid before, and she is definitely around as well.
I think in addition to that, he's also he's like bringing people together. He's like hanging out with like trading gossip with some of the other like competitors. I think whoever's receptive.
You find that even Sar, the druid of the Squad 7, and then definitely the Adamantium Renegades seem like they are very gossip prone, so that you do see a couple of them just kind of like trading the shit with you.
That's all I wanted. I'm good.
What's the rest of the crew doing with their night of celebration?
I'm not. Elric's not. Elric's hanging out with Alira. He's like so competitive and also astonished with this elf. But I'm like also, I know that she's got a pet and we're in a similar background. So like one of the things that I want to like at least be inquisitive about is like if she has any relationship with Hira or the Wardens of the Wilds. Understanding like that I'm going to be fighting her next week. So just like artfully from the outside being asking about that sort of stuff.
And she'd give you a few answers. So she would be like, oh no, I'm from the Warrior Forest themselves, trained by the druids of the forest. I'm not a hunter like you. I shape the wild magics that Hira has bestowed upon us mortals. I'm a druid, as it were. But Stripes is my best friend. We've known each other since I was born. He was born about the same time, and the druid said that we were friends, and we've been friends ever since. We've been, like, I could kind of know what he thinks, and he knows what I think, and I kind of tell him what to do, and he does what I do, and he tells me what to do. Sometimes I do what he says to do. It's just a really, I don't know, it's a weird thing, but hey, you've got a bear. You may know that, and like she definitely talks a lot too, especially since she's had like a lot to drink as well.
I would be like I would say Stripes. What a clever name! Like, just kind of blown away. Like, and what a smart name that would be for a tiger. And that would be our night. It's just like stupid conversation with the druid.
Sure. So yeah, you kind of learn she's a druid with her own little Stripes tiger on that side, and grew up in Aurea. So the big thing she will tell you though is that you must come to Aurea, or at least one of the wild sanctuaries sometime.
Great. Yes. Good to know.
All right, who's next for how they spend their night?
Wisteria's not too much of a partier. She's done her best to try to like look like she kind of belongs to this whole celebration and enjoys these games and everything. But I think she'd probably, at least immediately after the drinking competition, probably like follow Will around for a bit, like observing how he's interacting with people and people he's trying to bring together, taking notes via whisper on how that's all going, and just kind of getting lost in like the act of writing and note taking and trying to not think about how she was pretty unsuccessful at all of these games, and she's had a lot of hope for the rest of the tournament, but like right now at this moment she's kind of feeling like there's just so much going on both here in this competition in this celebration, but also with all the new quest the gavel has, and she's trying to like keep track in her head of how that's all going to happen, and the alcohol certainly isn't helping with that. And so she's trying to distract herself by like focusing on what's going on around and taking notes on it.
It's one of those things too, especially as you take your notes and you see it kind of like, and you look around like before, like especially as the games like end, like head librarian Aline is kind of doing the same thing. You see, like as soon as like her game ended, like she quickly kind of retreated back to her tent. And you do even see like the satyrs kind of around you. Sometimes try to like include you in like the revelry and kind of celebration, like try to uplift Wisteria's spirits. But depending on how Wisteria reacts to that, they may either continue their efforts or actually, I'll ask you, would Wisteria be uplifted by them trying to like bring her into like a celebratory spirit, or would not like not her mood right now?
She would do a good job of looking like she's reacting well to what they're doing, but as soon as they're like she tries to convince them, like, yeah, all right, you got me happy again, and then they go like wander off to another part of the party, and then she just goes back to right what she was doing before.
So you see, they do it twice, but after the second time, they kind of leave you alone for the rest of the night. All right, Mockery, how do you guys spend the rest of your night?
Jeet will not party this night. He just thinks about the previous night, everything that happened, and he doesn't want a repeat of that, so he'll just go back to his tent and start doing like treat poison, even though he knows that Coisir will make it all go away the next day. But he's just taking it easy, trying to find as many home remedies he can, so he's sobers up as quickly as possible. And then just as he's in the tent, about to go to sleep, thinking about the previous night, suddenly like he sits up in his bed and he says, "Wait, did Mockery just tell me he likes Wisteria?" and then he'll like go back to sleep.
Gene, at one point you are awakened by like this shaking around you, and like you easily identified as giant footfalls, and you hear Cavip's voice like outside go, "Jeet! Russell!"
Jeet will shout, "Tomorrow on the field!"
No, we gotta fight on the field.
No. Wrestling.
Fun. You just got these stomps, kind of like we're seeing away from the tent. Mockery, what are you doing?
Sorry, I was mute. I was saying I freaking love Cavip. He's just enjoying life. But I have a question, and this just like for a specific action Mockery can do. Can he send the Coisir's nectar to Rog? Is that possible or no?
Are you trying to play Hades here?
I
Because he
mean,
knows Rog can't get any more from Coisir. But he also knows Rog won this in the time before, and it helped save his life a few times, and it's a damn good drink.
it's so I'm gonna put two pieces out. First, it's possible. You could definitely do like a ritualistic sacrifice. Just sacrifice the nectar, kind of like bring it to almost like a little bit of a ritual to bring it to Rog's realm. There's a second part of that too. But also warning: Coisir's nectar is pretty powerful. That could be that's definitely a major sacrifice.
I've never, as a character, been able to use one, but I must play to my character. But
Have you ever used one?
No.
Oh yeah, I forgot you missed a lot of the Coisir's days.
No, Ichabod, he watched others, but never himself. He'll save it for now and then plan to do that later. For now, also at Jeet's store, kicks it down again. Jeet!
Oh man, poor guy.
They're gonna run out of doors.
What? This another demon? Where?
No! We need to discuss. I've waited too long for this.
And you can tell Mockery is so fucking drunk. He didn't like try and slow down after you left. He kept drinking for some reason.
We need to talk about who'd win. Rogue or Nar, if they fought. No armies, no followers, direct, one-on-one.
Oh, well, obviously, Nar. This is not anything we even need to talk about. I mean, Nar has fire on his side, and he's the god of might. Like, if you have both fire and might on your side, you
Hear
win.
me out, though. Hear me out. Rogue lives in hell, and is always on fire there, right? And as a mortal no less, he killed gods and beheaded a Tarask.
Okay, but hear this out. But, okay. I see what you're saying about the fire and the hell and stuff. But here's the thing: holy fire, right? Not just any fire. Holy fire. It'll work. And so, even though he was trying to shut it down quickly, he's getting more and more involved into this.
Well, I'm not saying he'd be immune to it, but even holy fire, he's gonna have to have some resistance to it. Because he is holy in his own sense, right?
Okay, well, let's talk about this. And then he gets out of the bed.
And Beshnik comes over and he's like, "What are you guys talking about, you assholes?"
Get into this, Beshnik. You can be a good medium. That's who'd win if gods fought. Like, for example, like if Coisir fought the god of love, who'd win? I'd say Coisir because he actually has a sword. Right now, focus on our gods, Rogue and Nar.
But Nar has holy fire. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, so do something.
Let me a little religion roll for Coisir.
Oh my god.
For Beshnet. Does he even have religion? He does not have religion. I'm just gonna roll a d20.
Fires of Nar are controlled, right? That's like a whole thing for you. But Nar's fury is another thing. So I say he'd be resistant against the fear part of Rogue's fear and fury. But Rogue could make him pretty pissed. So he'd fall for that part, right? Right?
You see Beshnet is like drunk as shit. Like he's like, what happened? Rogue killed Tarask as a mortal?
And some gods.
Defeated gods? But Nar, and you see like Beshnet's an Etarian as well. So you see Beshnet does get like a little bit like of this like Etarian pride. He goes, Nar is a true god. He was born divine. His holy fire will burn through whatever that.
But since he was born divine, it's like being born a noble. He never actually had to be on the ground like that. You know? Only a few times for Nar, but for Rogue, it's been his whole existence. You get it?
Yeah, okay, but if you're born noble, you're better than the other people. That's just the fact of life. Right, that's
Well, I mean,
what's true in Eteria.
True, but
Mockery playing his hand a little bit there with his thoughts about authority. True, but
Rogue is still.
and go petering off from there to more points.
You do see Beshnet like after that, like he just passes out. Like that little kobold has had far too much to drink today.
Imagine
with
it, like,
that,
as
go
he
ahead.
goes down and has a literal sloshing noise.
Oh yeah, it's sloshing. You hear like he falls down. Like you're worried for a second, and you just hear like these just little like high pitched snores coming
Aww.
No.
There's a note gets slid under the door, and if you pick it up and read it, it says, how much prep time would Notisha be allowed before the fight?
That's a good question.
Jesus.
That's a really good question.
Oh, Christ almighty.
Who has the high ground? That's
What
important.
have you done?
Because I know Rogue can. He'd fight his way out. But can Nar even be possibly caught in a trap?
And you hear like Olston like drunk off his ass like pops in. Well, yeah, Nar, Rog, the one you gotta look at. This god, the god of thunder, Sanda, he's god of heroes. I mean, yeah, he just throws some lightning down, boom, bang, boom, they're all dead.
Rogue passed Sanda's challenges as a mortal.
Well, his challenges, like not him.
We need more drinks.
You see Olsen's like raises his cups up, and you see like it refills. And that's how you guys spend your night, with half the crew passed out, other half of the crew trying to see which god would come out on top with a true divine or inferno rumble between the gods. That is where we'll wrap up today's session. You guys earned 3 Coisirian nectars that you guys will be able to employ anytime. I will post in the thread. I forgot to do it before this session, but you get a long rest, full spell slots. There'll also be either a D10 or D100 table. I used to have a D10 table in 5e with additional effects that come with it. In 5e, it ranged from like breathing fire to the lucky feat to like all of like these random things you would get for an hour. So I've got to like figure out what I want to do for Pathfinder 2e for that. But you'll have that, same option there. So you drink it, it lasts for an hour with whatever effect you get. So those are, and out of game too, those are pretty powerful things that you guys can bring to bear. I always recommend saving them for a really big moment where shit's looking dire, but they're yours to spend, and you can use them whenever you like. Basically, it's just a usual potion, so you'd have to use one action to retrieve it, one action to drink it, and then you get whoever drinks it gets that full long rest, full spell slots, and that additional effect.
They're not to be used in the tournament, where none of us can die.
Mockery will never use his because that's going to be for his gods.
I'm never gonna use it because I'll always think that maybe I should use it later.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I never used one, but I gave one to somebody in their time of need. So like that's,
nice.
But it's just, it's a very, it's crucial. And
Wait, I thought Rogue used one once.
I had 2.
Oh no, I think because
You
did
did
you get
2
the
Coisirs.
fire breath one time? I think it's a Tarask. You used it.
I may have, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But then before that, I think I may have given it to someone. Yeah.
You gave it to the healer, Corin. Yeah.
Yep.
The one who got eaten by the Tarask.
That was a different fight, but yeah.
He's died twice, yeah. But yeah.
But yeah, so, and I will say too, like, Coisir days don't happen often, but they will happen throughout the campaign. So there will be more chances to earn Coisir's nectar, but having they are a pretty powerful resource. So definitely use them when they're most needed, I'll say.
I'm so sorry. I'm sacrificing mine to the gods, but I must.
What do you mean you must?
I miss Will's bullhorn. Go to bed. But with that, as Will bullhorns that out, we'll wrap up today's session. Next session, we are going to be getting into 2 things. Round 3, where you actually go up against the Adamantium Renegades. This will be squad on squad combat again. So your first fight was severe, your second fight was extreme, but this is extreme, and the extreme for the second fight was pretty concentrated in the Dragon Turtle. This is extreme spread out between the 5 members of the Adamantium Renegades and Tiger. So be prepared for that. And you guys do have time if you have any leftover gold to buy like potions and all that before the fight starts. And then next fight, we'll get into that fight. And then we'll get into the last bit of Coisir's Peace Summit, where you get a chance to make your last plea with the factions before the tournament concludes. And we're on next week. So next week will be that tournament fight. So see everybody then. And thanks everybody for attending.